Hello and welcome to Dice Friends. This and everything we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. And this episode of Bylaw and Order is also brought to you by Dragon Shield. You can check out their selection of board game sleeves, companion folios, and other great tabletop gaming accessories at dragonshield.com. And if you're looking to run your own Ravnica adventures, this is a great time to mention our affiliate link with DriveThruRPG. You can go to lrr.cc/DriveThruRPG, and anything you buy, such as your own Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, helps us out. Thank you, and enjoy the show. Hi everybody, I'm Kathleen and I'm the dungeon manager for this campaign, which is Bylaw and Order 2, the return to Ravnica's least scenic and most swampy district, the 6th. A tale of mystery, hopefully, awaits our players, so let's see who they are.
Hi, I'm Ian Horner. I'll be reprising the role of Enor. I'm in prison now, but I used to be a cop. I got better. Presumably I'll get out.
Hi, I'm Cameron, and I'm playing Avenir, who works for the Azorius Senate as a diplomat. He's a rogue, and he just actually is kind of a deeply moral person who doesn't want to do things that hurt people. It's going well.
Hi, everybody. Ben Ulmer here, and I'm very, very excited to be once again playing the role of Nog and his lovely dog, Valencia. Only this time, I am no longer part of the Boros Guild. I'm no longer part of the general, militia cops. I'm a private eye investigator, and we have been solving crimes, and I'm excited to see what kind of crimes we might get into.
Hi, I'm Wheeler. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here. I'm playing Slock, a Golgari elf that works for the Chamber of Commerce that is a big old country boy, just a absolute corn-fed, thick brick house with a heart of gold and a head of not much, but enough, and he's got drive.
It is springtime in Ravnica. The air in the city's 6th district is still cool and damp, but today the sun has decided to peek out from behind the clouds, lending it a certain cheerful ambiance. Of course, in the distant center of Ravnica, the city's 10th district, winter has already long surrendered, and the warmer days have brought an explosion of delicate blossoms, exciting hemlines, construction road closures, and for the first time ever, a particularly lucrative arrival: tourists from outside Ravnica. Because of course Ravnica itself is not the whole universe. It is merely a plane, and furthermore just one of those things in a vast multiverse stuffed with them. It's a single pinprick of light within an infinite sky, and yet still a plane quite unlike any other. A plane that when the multiverse was still in its molten, formative state, when all those lights were part of the same exploding cloud of raw creation, just happened to have woven into its very base metaphysical qualities a very special and very unique type of magic. The magic of cooperation. And now it is a plane so dense and so urban that over 10 millennia of constant growth, its cities have spread and spread and spread and spread and finally run together until there were no more oceans to pave over and no land left to turn into new streets. So the Ravnicans simply built the new streets on top of the old ones. It is a plain of coffee shops, newspapers, universities, socialites, subways, art, sports teams, schemes, magic, bylaws, beasts, message boards, mysteries, and most importantly, because of all those things, but obviously kind of leaning more heavily on the coffee shops and the sports teams and the nice art, Ravnica is a pretty nice plane to end up on when you're traveling the multiverse. Because of course you can now. Last spring, a calamity tore through that multiverse, bringing not just death and destruction to living things on the plains, but wounds unimaginable to those very plains themselves. and the infinite spaces between them have become porous and weak because of this assault. And where they are weakest, the doors have begun to appear. And Ravnicans know better than probably anyone else that whenever a door appears, so too do people willing to pass through them, and therefore an opportunity to try and sell them something. And those that survived this calamity and found themselves passing through these doors began to write things down and trade notes when they met one another, because frankly, if you've ever found yourself being chased across the standstill sea by the murderous Fomori giants of Ear, it's pretty handy to know that if you can somehow tame a Turian megacrab, itself a huge ill-tempered crustacean that's over 20 feet tall, escaping the Fomori is relatively easy because they have enough common sense to leave the Turian megacrabs alone. Conversely, if a multiversal traveler happened to find themselves on Ravnica, the smart play is to buy theater tickets directly from the RKDS booth because it's 15% cheaper than going to the box office. The Omen Hiker's Guide to the Multiverse, as it has quickly become known to be called, already has a very lengthy entry for Ravnica, and the various sub-articles covering the finer details of the Ravnican language, its complicated Deca-Guild governance system, a Bane Alley gift guide, several competing top 10 restaurant lists, inset maps of the fashionable 2nd District, the charmingly historic 8th District, and the entire Zonot 5 Splashorium, among other things. But this is not really a story about any of those things, or even the book that people are writing about them. This is a story about Ravnica's 6th District, and its terse, but not entirely inaccurate 6-word entry in the Omen Hiker's Guide to the Multiverse contains overgrown areas with dank bogs. Avenir, you are currently standing outside a minimum security prison.
Good start.
Good start.
Yeah.
All right.
Avenir, you are here on behalf of your boss.
Mm-hmm.
You have been sent to collect Enor, and in fact, you see him waiting for you at the gate. Do you want to go and get him? They're just standing outside the door.
Yeah, absolutely. When I notice him, I walk up to the gate.
All right. Enor, what do you do?
Stare at Avenir.
So you know, Avenir, that you have been sent here to retrieve Enor. You're signing him out because you both have been invited to a function.
Okay.
And so while Enor is there, his parole officer comes by, and he's also in the Azorius Guild.
Uh-huh.
So as you can see, he's there on screen.
I have a question to that, by the way that you described it.
Yeah.
You said you used the word signing him out.
Yeah.
Is he not, your prison sentence isn't over?
As far as I knew, this was supposed to be a life sentence. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, I'm not there, but I'm just like, I thought you were done.
Yeah. Well, it's a special day. So anyhow, Avenir, you're collecting Enor, and you have to meet with Jaduit Zakany, which is that Loxodon with the mustache there. Hello. What's your name, please?
Avenir Goblin. Or Gollibin.
Gollibin. Yep. Okay.
Goblin is something else.
Yep.
There's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the minister sent you. All right. Okay. Sign this. Hands over paperwork for you.
And make sure I'm using the correct color of blue ink.
Oh, yeah. All right. Now in triplicate.
Flip it over. Flip it over. Hand it back.
Hands you another one. Same deal. It's the
Quickly
Azorius.
read. I read everything now.
All right, while you're reading that, he's gonna talk to Enor, and he's gonna be like, "All right, Mr. Enor, are you aware of the conditions of your temporary parole?"
Am I?
How aware of them do you want to be, I guess?
Sure, you can go over them again if you want to.
All right, you have been released on parole on account of good behavior and account of Ravnican minimum sentencing guidelines. You are being released 1 day early today, the 8th of Selesnesny, as a special consideration. As this is we are extending your parole date 1 day forward, you must stay with your escort from the Azorius Guild until tomorrow, and or inside your approved overnight domicile Tomorrow you will report back to me and receive your ankle monitor.
Cool.
You will make weekly reports. You are not to engage in any illicit substances. You are not to tell anybody else to take illicit substances. And you are not to use any Azorius Senate resources to consume, farm, or obtain any illicit substances.
Oh, have no worries about that whatsoever. I am done with that guild.
That's nice to hear. You make me a perception check.
Ooh, that's a 10.
Oh, that seems sincere. All right. While he's going over all of that, you finally finish signing this mountain of paperwork.
All right. Yeah, no, I just standard boilerplate about how if you do anything wrong, I'm responsible for you.
Oh, absolutely. Extremely responsible.
Yeah, very responsible.
Yeah. And anyhow, your boss has entrusted you with collecting Enor. Basically, how it works is they can only put somebody in prison for a certain amount of time if they have a non-violent crime. And Enor has qualified for his, sort of mandated parole because there's no reason to keep him there. He's still technically arrested, but he can move to a house arrest situation. But he's getting out a day early because of the special event that could not be moved that he has been invited to. All right. So that done, you two can go to your private car that's going to escort you to this special event.
Dang.
Fancy.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to talk and catch up or anything like that while you're in the car?
I just look at you and say, you look terrible.
Feel that way too. You couldn't have let this go one more day. I was about to harvest my fungus. That was my nest egg.
The Senate always finds ways of taking from all of us.
Sure has 3 years.
Speaking of which, I hand Enor a bag with, change of clothes.
Cool.
Deodorant.
Cool, my stick's in here.
Yeah, just, your stuff.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, after your discussion, do you want to change? You can say you change or not.
Yeah, I'll put on my robes and wizard hat.
Okay, great.
Are you, prison shredded?
Not
according to the
photo.
character, right? Which he approved. So.
Right.
Didn't do a lot of working out in prison.
What did you do in prison?
A lot of farming of fungus and the consumption of said farm fungus.
Oh.
I've heard it said that the first person you meet in prison is yourself.
He was coming the other way back from a journey.
I, me, and my canids.
Big high fives all around.
All right. Well, anyhow, after all of this happens, you get changed. You arrive in whatever state you wish to arrive in. Both of you arrive at Voxspur Square, which is a newly constructed public plaza in the 2nd District. It is so new, in fact, the flagstones are still polished, and they gleam in the spring sunlight. And that makes, one, it's very pretty because the sun's coming out. There's little flecks of quartz in the stones and stuff. It looks very good. There's flowers and fresh trees that have been planted and stuff, but they're still kind of small. And it looks very good compared to the immediate surroundings of the plaza, which consist primarily of grimy-looking factories, derelict warehouses, and what could only be described as a troubled construction site. This area immediately behind the plaza has been completely fenced off and has been so for a very long time because the fence is rusty and falling into disrepair in places and stuff. But a large new sign has been conspicuously erected in front of the main gate entrance, which I use that word heavily because if you wanted to get into this area, you absolutely could. You just go in through one of the holes in the fence. But it says in bright font and a highway improvement kind of vibe, future home of the 6th District Memorial Swamp Ball Stadium. Construction complete. Fall 10,079, except somebody's covered up that 10,079 with one of those newer, smaller signs with smaller font because they've got to put more things on. And now it says 10,080 bracket EST end bracket. And then a smaller handwritten sign hangs off the bottom of that. It's like taped up, like, and it says, "Save the Jetvara Overbog. Meetings every Tuesday. Kapitsa Community Center."
I assume that's the Jetbara Overbog, like the area that it's all fenced in.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. You don't get much time to admire the view, though, after getting out of the car, because there's no more view to admire. And a middle-aged woman dressed in Azorius garb is going to see both of you and is going to immediately break from the crowd of people that are assembled here. And she's going to come towards you, Avenir, with a smile on her face, or at least kind of like what passes for one in sort of Senate.
Right.
Avenir, this is Barrow Pravnik, your boss, and that's her.
Okay.
Avenir, very punctual. It's such a nice surprise to see you outside the halls of the Senate. Enor, you look well.
I am seeing you as well.
Excellent. Avenir, how are you?
Very good, ma'am. It's nice to see daylight again.
Excellent. Tell me about your relationship with your boss.
I would assume that since she is several ranks above who Avenir would normally be reporting to, it's extremely formal and terrifying.
Okay, so you are afraid of her. By the way, she is Minister Barrow Pravnik, and she is the Minister of Interguild Relations for the 6th District. So you're saying that she's several layers above you in that hierarchy?
I imagine that after Avenir murdered his old boss, it's very hard to find people who want to be his new boss.
So how long have you been reporting to Barrow? Basically the whole time?
Yeah, probably the whole time.
Okay. But you like her? She's fine?
Yeah, I mean, she's
a boss.
Yeah. She's one of the few people who I imagine she's pretty good at her job. She's competent. I assume that the Azorius Senate basically got 1-2 punched by Dovin Bon and then the Phyrexian invasion.
Oh, yes.
So, if Avenir believes that she is one of the competent people who survived both of those things, then he'll be pretty happy to be working for her.
Okay. Well, you can tell me as this goes on if you believe that to be true or not.
Okay.
But we'll say from the beginning, we'll say at this point you believe that to be true, but you are mildly terrified of her because you sort of report to the vice president essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, anyhow, what are you working on, Avenir? I so rarely speak to you.
Oh, I'm still working on that problem of closing the third overharmonic novel vulnerabilities in the subsection 4728 of the Sphinxian translation of the Guild Pact.
Oh, wonderful. That sounds like it's very involved. Do you need any more resources for that?
No. I should be able to just keep working away on that with minimal supervision until I'm finally satisfied that I can bring it to somebody else for testing.
Excellent. Well, I have no doubt that you are a very competent person, and just let me know if you need anything. Otherwise, I'll see you next year. Anyhow, as you're having this very kind of perfunctory and awkward conversation, you can tell she has one eye open because she is looking for other people. And after that little weird thing ends, she sees the next person in our scene arrive. In fact, it is, she goes, "Oh, good! Mr. Nog has arrived." And as Nog arrives, 2 other people kind of hove into view, some sort of making a beeline for Barrow. It is in fact Wheeler and his boss, Advisor Tizia. So here's Advisor Tizia there.
Yeah.
So he's sort of following behind her, the muscle in this arrangement. She is a very elderly crawl lady, but she walks fast and purposely. You have to keep up with her. It is not the other way around. And she is clearly needing to talk to Barrow. So she comes by and is just as Barrow is going to greet Nog, basically Tizia comes and sort of interrupts this happening, and Barrow says, "Nog, so nice to meet you. Avenir has always spoken well of you. Hey,
surprising.
Have any of you met?" Looks at you.
Slock, ma'am.
Wonderful. Okay. And then her and Barrow lock eyes, and somebody make me a perception check.
15.
17.
Oh, the adults need to talk to one another.
Wah, 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 wah,
Wah, wah,
wah,
wah. All right, so they're gonna take off because they have business to attend to, and then the two of you, everybody, introduce yourselves.
Avenir, it's good to see you again.
I'm so glad to see you.
Yeah, I heard you've been working out of a basement these days.
Yeah, it has minimal supervision requirements and completely the same pay that my old job did.
Oh, so strict upgrade, I guess?
Yeah.
Side grade?
Yeah, I haven't had to fight anyone recently.
You know, that's good.
Yeah.
The day that I don't punch somebody, I count that as a good day.
I no longer have to worry about being promoted or advanced in my career in any way.
Yeah. Enor, you're looking huge.
Same dog, different badge, I see.
Yes. I left the Boros. Well, that's maybe a tale for another time. But long story short, I'm my own PI now, working with the agency. And I've just been doing here and there, working with the community, helping out people. Me and Valencia, and I give Valencia a big like scritch under the ears. We've been helping the people and stuff, and
Nice.
it's been a good time. How was prison?
Self-improvement looks good on you. Me, I just spent the last 3 years farming fungus in an attempt to escape prison of my own design.
Like you were going to use the fungus to escape?
No, more just to forget I was there.
That's. Did you sell me fungus like 4 years ago? Maybe.
Perhaps.
You look very familiar. More tattoos? I'm sorry, I was on a lot of fungus at the time.
Same. But happy to see you again. For the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how's it going? I'm Nog. It's very nice to meet you. What'd you say your name was?
Oh, hi. I'm Slock.
Oh, yeah?
Nice to meet you.
Hey, you're a tall one.
Yeah. My mom used to say that I was built like a rot silo.
Did you used to play sports at all? I feel like I recognize you.
Come on, man.
Did
You're
you
making me...
like college or?
Yeah, well, I played a little swamp ball in college, but I could have gone pro, maybe, but wasn't for me.
I want to say like a decade ago, Swamps Giving, maybe Swamps Giving's Super Bowl.
Oh God, sorry. Fungi. My memory.
It'll do a number on you.
Probably. It's
Good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it was great. Was it 10 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
And it was me?
Maybe.
Was it the 6'3" elf?
I don't meet a lot of them, so.
Because I think if it was, then that was probably me.
Oh well, it's a pleasure to meet you. I think you got many swamp touchdowns. Swamp Downs.
Swamp Downs?
I'll level with you. It's been a while since I've watched the Swamp Ball, so I don't remember all the terminology is.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all the game's changed, man. Probably I haven't played.
Yeah, that's why I stopped watching.
decade.
It just got too political.
Yeah.
Once the offside rule hit. Over for me.
Yeah, the 5-second rule.
I can't even count that high.
Yeah,
I can't believe after
It's a
they
myth.
after they introduced the "He who smelt it dealt it" rule.
Oh my God, I couldn't believe they did that.
Game changed completely different.
It's a completely different thing.
Is it rude if I ask to pet your dog?
No, she's super friendly, and Valencia just kind of, because Valencia's quite a big dog. Like I'd say at like height, like she's in. I don't know like Ravnica world, like she's like a Tibetan Mastiff kind of a thing, like big, like 80-pound dog.
Slock starts petting the dog. Do you like owning a small dog?
Yeah, Nog just kind of like gives you like Yeah, I mean, she's definitely my better half. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, better half.
Valencia boofs approvingly.
Yeah. Valencia just like she seems pretty like into like getting scritched and whatnot, but like I think she gives you the air that she knows more than like a dog should, kind of a thing about like human people interactions.
She looks at you, and there's like a smartness in her eyes that's maybe not there in your eyes.
Yeah, maybe like half and a half.
Yeah.
Just staring into her eyes. We have so much to learn from you.
So you are all enjoying making small talk. Do you have any questions?
Oh, I just introduced myself.
Oh.
Avenir.
Oh, nice. I'm Slock. Nice to meet you. Avenir? With
Yeah.
an A?
With an A.
Okay.
Avenir.
Avenir.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I used to know an Avenir.
Really?
I think it was Alvin. Alvin Iyer? Do you know him?
Can't say we've met.
Oh.
Like in the grand scheme of Ravnica, you met this one guy named this.
Oh, everybody knows Alvin Iyer. I mean, I guess in my, old social circle, he was a friend, so I guess we'd know him. I just thought maybe, you have the same name. You might.
How do you spell Alvin Iyer?
Alven space IR.
Wait, I need to ask, just in the scope of this conversation, were you asking Avenir if he knew somebody that you knew and gave no pretense to knowing at all?
Well, you're going to find other people that share some similarities with you.
So you're just shooting in the dark.
Well,
kinda.
they got the same name. I mean, maybe
Right.
maybe they were like grabbing food, and someone said,
No,
like,
I
order
mean,
from Alvin.
It makes sense. I know like 6 Nogs. So
Order for
Yeah.
Alvanir. That was what, 2 ounces every fortnight?
Is that? Yeah.
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 Small district.
See, he gets it.
I'll go look for him at the bar.
Turns away.
What's the equivalent of like pulling out like your Ravnica cell phone? Yeah.
All right, so all of this happens. You look around. As all of this is happening, more and more people are filling in. There are canapes on trays coming out. There's a stage set up across the plaza that overlooks that awful construction site. There's a lot of people here who are dressed fancy. There are the kind of people here that hang out with your boss and your boss, and nobody that you two would be associated with.
Yeah.
But you said you worked for the agency. What have you been working for doing with the agency? What have you been dealing with in the past 3 years?
Well, so as I mentioned, Nog left the Boros, not really on necessarily like bad terms, kind of a thing, but since we took out a demigod or a god, and did all the things that in our last big campaign. Nog has been kind of wanting to do stuff that involved helping more of the people and like small time kind of things that the Boros just don't have time really to do, and where a lot of these kind of issues like local patisserie is getting like shook down for security money or something like that. The Boros don't have time for stuff like that, so.
Oh, they're very short-staffed right now.
Yeah,
a lot of people died in the past 3
exactly.
years.
So Nog left, and the agency is that I believe this kind of group that has sort of filled in that vacuum and stuff, and I'm sure we'll talk about. But he's joined them as kind of the 6 districts resident sort of like PI agent sort of there who gets commands and has been doing stuff ranging from as small as like purse snatchings and stuff to maybe larger scale things like art theft or whatever.
Yeah, you're dressed out. You clearly work for the agency. You're here in uniform, essentially,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Make me a perception check.
That would be a critical fail.
Oh, it's a great looking uniform.
I really like that I'm wearing clothes.
Yeah, it's good. All right. Anyhow, all of this happens. And people are arriving, canapes are going around, but, sort of as this happens, just as you go to break to the snack table, you notice that sort of this hush falls across the plaza, and this thin man in an expensive-looking brown pinstripe suit makes his way to the stage and behind a podium. And this is what he looks like.
Wait. Wheeler? That kind of looks like your dad. Like, just a little bit.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just sort of, when I looked at it, I met your dad twice, and that kind of looks like him.
Yeah. I don't think,
You see your dad more than I do.
that's true. If he's wearing shorts underneath that, then that is my dad.
This is a weird dynamic because your boss is the vice president of the Chamber of Commerce. So, yeah, that's weird. But anyhow, hey, people who were in the last campaign, this is Gorev Bruna, who's the president of the 6th District Chamber of Commerce. Could somebody make me a recalling the events of 3 years ago check? That's just an internal one. You don't have to roll the dice.
Yeah, sure, good.
Sure. What's my like modifier in life?
Oh, no modifier. You're going to roll.
Oh, good. I don't have mods. 7.
7.
You have a big one on this.
Yeah, okay, so that's, kind of accurate because it was actually 6 years ago in our time. But this 3 years ago in Ravnican time, and you will probably remember this in character because the last time you saw this man, he was running through the doorway of the now disgraced Simic Combine project leader, to the office of Ignaz Bolgovac, and just tripping over a hastily abandoned and huge petition and just wailing his face on the floor. And so, unlike the last time you saw him, he is not bleeding from his nose.
And is upright.
Yeah, he's upright. He's not furious.
I can see why he would have been bleeding from his nose.
His nose didn't look like that 2 years ago. Now it looks like this. All right, so that's your point of reference. So you do know all this man, and you know who he is, and you've met him before.
Right.
Slock, because you work with this man. What's your vibe on him?
He's not as nice as my boss.
Right.
But, he's probably got a lot of hard decisions to make. And so, you got to respect that, right?
All right.
What, maybe?
Okay.
Do you?
It sounds like you do for now.
Slock respects the authority, but doesn't understand why he does.
He seems smart, I guess. No?
Yeah, he's got a suit.
He seems well-dressed.
Yeah.
All right. Anyhow, while this is happening, Bruna goes up and he's about to make a speech, very obviously. He clears his throat and says, Hello, my friends and business colleagues. I am delighted to welcome you here to beautiful Volksper Square on this lovely spring day to celebrate the 6th District, a place that, despite preconceptions, I truly believe is the best district in the entire city. A quiet murmur of approval rustles through the crowd.
Rabble.
I am, of course, humbly aware that it has been a difficult 3 years for everyone. It has been a time of great change. Hey, make me a perception check,
Ooh, that's much better. That'll be a 19.
Like 6 pairs of eyes swivel towards you, but nobody makes a move.
Still, thank you.
It has been a time of great change, upheaval, and tragedy. Ravnica has been tested, but we have not been defeated, and throughout it all, we've stayed strong here in the 6th District. Did you know that when I was a boy that we called this place the Sleepy 6th? And why not? After all, we've got no airship station, and the implicit maze didn't even bother to stop here. Sure, we get a few tourists visiting the apple orchards, but even I will admit, most people would probably rather spend their vacations admiring the grand architecture of the Urbitov Mausoleum and Loan Center. Chuckles rustle through the crowd. This is a good, non-gilded joke. Right?
Yeah.
Where he's like, ha, 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 ha.
I understood that.
Yeah. So what does the 6th District even have to offer, then? Why, I say to you, stability, classic Ravnican culture, architecture unblemished by invading extraplanar armies. But that's not all. As you can see across the road, the state-of-the-art Invasion Memorial Swamp Bowl Stadium is well under construction, a project the Chamber of Commerce has finally been able to commence thanks to a generous grant from His Excellency the Living Guild Pack's Endowment Fund for Ravnican Reconstruction. Polite applause, polite applause. When finished, that stadium will be a place where all Ravnicans will be able to come together and discover a wonderful sport that was invented right here in the 6th District. Cheers, applause. Slock, make me a perception check.
16.
16. You notice, because you are obviously all with the Golgari, the Golgari all cheer loudly for this.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less loud cheering on the behalf of the non-Golgari people. But the Golgari are all like, yeah, let's go. In fact, I'm sure by this time next year, and you can sense he's a little bit like, about this, we'll be hosting the Swamps Giving Fun Bowl here. The Fung Bowl.
Yeah.
Bowl.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, and there'll be no more delays. Now, I understand that we do have some people out here, people here from outside the 6th who have moved here for work or after the result of the 2 disastrous invasions that so terrorized the rest of the district. And I do think that I don't want to make it sound like I think we are so much better than the other districts, but I just want to talk about how we're shedding our image. Because I love the 6th District, but I hate that it's Ravnica's best-kept secret. And I'm sure you're all very aware that there are no omen paths in the 6th District, and while that means other areas are reaping the benefits of extraplanar tourism, so much so that there are already detailed guides being written about them, the 6th District, this beautiful and safe place that we all know and love, has been reduced to a single line of text. And we are here to prove that we are more than that. The 6th District, I'll have you know, was the birthplace of the single most beneficial law to Ravnican citizenry that has been passed in the last 80 years. Polite applause, polite applause.
Was that us?
Did you know it was right here in the 6th District that a dedicated and hard-working Azorius Senate member named Obort Zunak spent 9 years crafting the unified Ravnican sausage standard. And in just 3 short years, reports of food poisoning in the city are down 600%. 12 kinds of rare scorpions have been taken off the endangered species list. 12 kinds of rare scorpions have been taken off the endangered species list, and deaths due to unattended bangers are down an astonishing 4,000%. And that's all due to Obort Zunak's hard work. Of course, he cannot be here with us to celebrate his achievements, so instead we celebrate this grand day with our guests of honor. And he sweeps his hand across the whole crowd to the 4 of you, and then looks at you for a second, Slock, and goes, well, most of them. That worked so hard under Obort's direction and direct supervision to facilitate his vision, shepherding it to reality. So thank you all for being here as we celebrate the achievements of the 6th District on this, the inaugural Obort Zunak Day! Roll credits! great. Well, that was kind of mean of me, wasn't it? But I will say that most people have been like trying to casually ignore the fact that Obort Zunak was actually like a murdering maniac because they would really like some good news for the 6th District. And some hurt feelings amongst you guys are a small price to pay, is what the sort of the minds of the district have decided. And Melander's not even here because he's off in the 8th District, like doing some sort of thing, I think.
Didn't really hurt my feelings, but whoever definitely massaged the guild pact to make it attached to a living person, I think would probably feel that their work was being maligned.
Yeah. All
Or
right.
failed to be recognized.
So now the speeches have been done. They've put out a little banner. There's, but you know what? You're at a party and you're the guests of honor. So I have a little handout for both of you guys. This is a map of all of the people here that you can talk to.
Oh.
And they're numbered. So there's you.
Oh,
You're
jeez.
off in the corner. Featherweight may have been like, excuse me, how many people? And not all of them have art. So
Okay.
only the important people have art. But
Is food their first name or last name?
food is where the food table is. So you are welcome to eat as much of that as you'd like. Because it just keeps coming out.
Okay. Well, 4 and 5 seem to be in my way.
Yeah, I was like, anybody feel a little peckish after receiving some amount of news?
My only goal here is to keep down lunch long enough to tamp it down with some dinner.
All right. Well, in that case, you can move as a group or you can move individually if you would like to. Or do you want to just like move over and like talk to the first 2 people, I guess?
I mean, yeah, we can. Do we want to go talk to 4 and 5? I kind of want to beeline and just see what the spread is.
Yeah.
Everybody get behind me. And Slock just throws up his arms and just
Yeah, hey, Slock, how do you...
goes right through.
All of this, you knew all of this was happening, but how do they look a little shell-shocked to you or something like that?
I mean, this guy must have been really important to them. If they're all so taken aback by such an emotional day.
Wonderful. All right, so you're all going to the food table, and you're just going to go straight there?
Yeah.
All right, so you go to the food...
The good old artist draws 15 characters, and we say, "Hey, buffet."
We'll go to them afterwards.
Yeah, but I want to see the spread. I want to see how if there's any like if there's shrimp cocktail. I kind of want to see how much I
Oh
can
my
shove
God,
into my
okay,
pocket.
okay, so there is so much food there because this is like... the high society of the 6th District. There's a lot of like, this is the president of the Chamber of Commerce, this is the vice president of the Chamber of Commerce, and her personal assistant that you have somehow adopted into your group. This is, Franka Dobrak from the Times-Picayune is here, and she's now their lead reporter, right? So like, you see her byline all the time, so she's here covering this event. Like, all these people are very well dressed.
Okay.
All right, but you go to the food, and that is important because yes, there is shrimp cocktail. It is a spread that you would describe as he mentioned tradition and like Ravnican, like this is just peak Ravnica. Like this is traditional Ravnican food, or as close as you can get to with like not injuring anyone. So like they've left all of the like the razor sharp claws on like the underriver shrimp and stuff like that, but it's like fresh spot prawns, but they're huge and like weirdly mutated. Yeah. So there's that. There's so many different types of sausage.
I will
Avenir.
never eat another sausage for as long as I live.
Yeah, I want a strict no sausage diet.
Oh, really? Because there's a lot of sausage here.
That's good. It will give me something to brush aside.
Okay, well, I'm not.
You could take some as the garnish on the plate that you're not actually gonna like eat.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you because this is Obort Zunak Day. A huge variety of the food is sausage related, but there's some like crudité and stuff like that. There's Enor. What are you interested in eating?
Sausage definitely lost all interest in me as well once I took the excitement out of it.
Yeah, I saw it being made.
Okay, well, there's also some dessert sausages.
Good.
Whoa.
Is any part of the shrimp
Yeah.
sausage?
No.
Okay.
The shrimp's technically considered vegetarian. It's Golgari food.
So Nog like piles like a plate full of like and Valencia and then we're like or like kind of like shoveling a bunch of it, and we're like, this is free, right? Like this is
It's absolutely free.
great. Okay, perfect. And we just do that, and then I take like one bite of the shrimp and go.
Slock,
Yeah.
there's a lot of Golgari delicacies out here as well. Could you name something that you like? What's some good food that's here that your friend should try that you're going to help them out with?
They have to try the sausage. It is incredible. I saw it. I know. I saw you. No. Trust me. Let me show you how a local does it. See, what you got to do is you take the shrimp and you actually and Slock kind of looks around to make sure nobody else is like seeing this. He's like, you got to kind of form it into a sausage. Just kind of mold this shrimp all together to be, well, a link, if you will.
Let me show you this trick I learned the past 3 years.
And we'll grab the least offensive-looking sausage and dip it directly into what I guess would be the equivalent of spinach dip.
Yeah.
Like you don't take some out.
Oh, God,
on the
no.
plate. You just like the communal.
Really takes the edge off.
Oh, I can't do spinach dip. I had one night where I came home and the only thing in my fridge was a giant bowl of expired spinach dip, and it did not end well, and I can't, eat it. I don't know if you guys know like that feeling when there's just like a kind of food that you can't eat.
Familiar with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I roll deception to lie to myself so that I can eat the sausage while everyone watches me.
Okay, but sort of like in that polite way
Yeah,
that a
it's
child
like,
does at a dinner party.
Avenir's a diplomat, and if this is what the job is, I roll 16.
All right, well, you managed to choke down, we'll say a chickpea and lentil sausage with red pepper flakes in it.
That just sounds kind of nice.
Yeah, that is really nice. It's objectively nice.
Nog wants to, become friends with his new acquaintance Slock. So he's like, all right, yeah, let me try. And he like takes the sausage that like you extruded through your your thing, and he does like the eat, but then kind of like behind the neck, and like drops it so that Valencia like eats it behind because she doesn't care.
Slock, make me a notice children's magic trick check.
I rolled a nat 20.
You definitely noticed this.
Yeah. But I'm impressed by how well he did it.
Okay, so there's still some appreciation there. All right.
Delicious.
Whoa, where did it go?
Valencia's like very clearly chewing behind me.
She burps up. The tail comes out of the
She
sausage.
also does the bleh. But she does it onto the table of the buffet, like on like the corner.
All right. Anyhow, there's also like bread, sticks, I suppose, vegetables. You can assemble yourselves a hearty plate of anything that you want. We'll say, it's not going to. You're having sides rather than the main. But that's okay.
Are there like waiters?
Oh, well, yeah. There's like those people in like sort of like inconspicuous brown outfits that sort of circulate and like replace trays of food as they get eaten or half eaten. And there's also people carrying canapes around for like little like hors d'oeuvres.
Can I like tug on one of their sleeves and ask like, are the breadsticks unlimited?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. Guys, we can fill up on breadsticks.
Anybody is welcome to stuff as many breadsticks as they'd like in their pocket.
Are there any eggs at the table?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some deviled eggs.
Check this out. Slock reaches and grabs 2 deviled eggs. If you just put them back together, it's like nothing ever happened, and it's a flavor bomb.
I genuinely thought that you were gonna be like, check this out, and then you extrude an egg sausage from your fist again.
I mean, I could try doing that.
Like, can you sausage that?
I rolled a 10.
Oh, you can try.
Slock takes the 2 eggs, puts them together, tries to extrude them, but ends up just kind of ripping the eggs into two and went, oh, no sausage, but check it out. Now I got 4 deviled eggs.
And filthy hands.
Yeah, but, gestures over to the dog to clean up my hands.
So I assume while this is going, 11 looks like they're at the table. They see this happening.
Yeah. I'm just once if you guys are done literally playing with your fingers,
Kinda.
Pretty much.
you can go over and talk to number 11 if you want, and sort of start making your way from there.
Sure.
All right. So number 11 is I've got his picture here. Okay, so he looks like this, and he is hanging around where the drinks are coming out. And he's just, hello.
Hey, what's your poison? What do you recommend?
Oh, they are handing out sparkling wine, so I am drinking a lot of sparkling wine. Hi, my name is Aftersausage.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, hi. What are you doing at this shindig?
Oh well, didn't you hear? We're the guests of honor.
Oh, amazing.
And Slock.
Oh, good for you. I like that speech too, because he talked about how that stadium's going to be done.
Is that your project?
What? Yes, it is. I just graduated from university in the 2nd district, and this is my first commission.
Wait, like you're rocking this solo and it's your first job?
Well, yeah, because they said I was very gifted, and also the 6th district, they can't afford to pay that much, and so they hired the best person they could afford, which my supervisor told them would be me, but now that I'm here, I'm not so sure that's true. Yeah, how familiar are you with the interesting geotechnical concerns of the 6th district? Glug, glug.
Can I do like a history check to if I know the?
Yeah, sure.
Like?
Everybody here can make me. I'm from around here, and I know what this is, kind of thing.
It's gonna be one of those campaigns.
I'm up to 28 on that.
Nat 1.
Okay. All right. 1 second. I just gotta paste in my thing. You are like, no, tell me all about it, which I think is the worst thing you can say to somebody like
So
this.
a fair people amount to know, but my one makes us go, no, none of us know.
No, hold up. But it just means he's going to focus on you. But you know a ton, and what did you guys get?
6.
16.
I'm
All right.
deeply familiar with the underground.
Yeah, you're not too super familiar. You are very familiar, and you are familiar enough in that you're from the Golgari, and you're kind of aware. This is the sort of, I would say, famous locally Jetvara Overbog, aka just the Overbog, aka the failed Jetvara reclamation zone, because they've tried to do it 3 times. And it's always failed because the ground here is like so naturally soggy. The buildings just sink into the muck. And even the Golgari don't spend a lot of time in this area because it's just like you can't build anything here. It's just extra swampy. And this whole area is really swampy. So like most of the buildings here will only have like 1 or 2 levels of basement, if that. And, you go like a couple 100 meters away and the ground changes dramatically. But this little fenced-in patch has never been built on because they literally, every time they tried to build something, it has failed. And you can see in the distance beyond that fence, you can see all sorts of pilings are being driven into the ground, and there's massive pumps going and stuff like that. And there's like tubing that's been set up to try and take the water out and everything. And it's just bananas how much they're doing. They've gotten the ground about half excavated now. But you can see, if you looked in, you can see there's 4 feet of water at the bottom of their pit still, right? And there's magical stuff going on constantly, yeah. So that is the technological things, and Enor, that it's a very weird environment, and that strange things are there. Local people, unless they're particularly motivated, try to stay out of there because a lot of strange monsters live there. But it's the kind of place that you may have gone looking in your youth for interesting mushrooms, for example, the kind of mushrooms that you like. But it's always the kind of place that even Enor has approached carefully. It's not like, teenagers don't go in there for fun. They have more common sense than that. So anyhow, that's on a 28. That's literally everything I have written down.
That's great.
All right. So, he'll talk to you endlessly. He's got his plans with him, as you can see. So he'll be like, look at the load here. Do you know how much this water weighs? And he's just going to go after you. And you are going to have, because he's kind of getting drunk because he's so stressed out because they really want that stadium built because Bruna just promised a hard deadline. And he's like, oh my God, we're not even finished the excavation yet because every time we excavate, it fills back up with water. Anyhow, he's telling you all this in great detail.
Yeah, these are drawings.
Yeah. And but the three of you want to get away. You can absolutely sneak away while Nog is being cornered by this intense person.
Okay, yeah, I am trapped in conversation.
Yeah. At least you're near the booze.
Yeah, that's true. I'm also going to start drinking.
4 and 5 seem to be having an interesting conversation.
All right. Well,
Let's ruin it.
Yeah. Well, if one of them is boring, they already have someone else.
Yes.
this is how I circulated a party, right? Which is I just go from conversation to conversation until I run out of things to say and then leave before it can get awkward.
Yes.
I've given you my secret. Now you'll notice me doing that in real life. But anyhow, 4 and 5. God, why do I do this to myself? Number 4 is Nithsanthia Thun Skosman.
What?
I don't know why at this point you're astounded by the names that you create.
Well, because I did this late last night.
She's so cute.
She is rich. You can tell by the way she stands and by the look of her fabric and how she just speaks. She has been to good schools outside of the 6th district. And she is talking to Prian Spozzabaum. And they're having a very pleasant conversation, to be completely honest with you. They seem to get along really well. And, of course, Nithensia is like, oh, yes, I just think it's a terrible tragedy, don't you? And to have him put a date on it like that, it means that he's basically planning not to listen to us. But, I definitely think that the Chamber of Commerce has been made to see the error of their ways before. And he goes, yeah, I agree. I just think it's ridiculous. But we must do what we must do and blah, 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 blah. So she's more up in arms. He's just trying to be cool. He seems like a sort of a pleasant guy who's like letting his friend go off, I guess. So anyhow, what do you want to talk to them about? Do you want to say, what you talking about? What's going on? Or do you just want to boring?
It's like,
Peace.
Not my table.
Yeah.
Why the hell are you building a big studio in a swamp?
Oh, well, I think that's an excellent question. I would love to ask the Chamber of Commerce and the Golgari Guild and lots of other people that exact same question. That swamp should be a nature preserve because we want whatever is living there to stay in it and not come out into the surrounding districts.
Preach.
Tracks.
Yeah.
All right. And Prian says, I do think you have a point. It's a very interesting ecosystem. And, I don't think we need a big project here. I think it's fine. My dad is not interested in selling out. Good for him, Prian. I think that your father is the only thing standing between us and certain doom. Well, I wouldn't put it that far, but I know that he's on the side of right and good. And he goes, hello, I'm Prian Spozzabaum.
Avenir, Golubin.
Once he realizes who you are, his face drops.
Oh, no.
And he goes, oh! You were the guests of honor who passed the sausage regulation. Well, on behalf of Obort Zunak, but I've heard he was a maniac.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, it was, a lot of things happened.
Well, I would not be surprised if you didn't know me. I'm Prime Spozzabaum of the Spozzabaum family, of course, the makers of Aftersausage. Who wants to make me a local knowledge check?
15.
13.
I'm not there.
All right.
I'm getting drunk.
You're getting drunk. Okay, great. All right, everybody who's there. Aftersausage is like a popular folk remedy that you would take after you had eaten bad meat.
Oh,
Under-
so we like maybe put them out of business a little.
Understand? Well, they're not out of business.
It is
But
also a folk remedy.
but we'll just say sales have not been good. He doesn't seem to bear you any like active ill will because, you know, he's maybe a little bit in the know because of the people he knows and stuff like that. But I would say up until 3 years ago, his family made a lot more money than it does now.
Awkward.
Sorry, this is so rude.
So
Do you say that out loud? Because that
Yeah.
rules.
he's upset because people aren't getting food poisoning anymore.
Well, his
Yeah.
family fortune was predicated on the fact that, you know, a lot of people were getting food
Yes,
poisoning.
yeah.
And desperate for relief. But he says, but you know, it's fine. We've moved past that. Realistically, I realize that not all of the things in the sausage regulation were bad. I do think he got carried away. Brian's a pretty reasonable person, honestly. I do think people got carried away, and I think it's too much. But on the bright side, sales of Aftersausage are going back up. I think a lot of people thought, oh, I don't need it. And then they realized I can still get upset stomach from other things, right? So the sales are up 11% with youth under 25 or 85 for Loxodons.
Yeah, I mean, in spite of the Aftersausage, I'm sure does much more than just break up digestive bolides.
Oh, it does lots of things.
Sometimes I just take Aftersausage even when I'm not feeling sick, you know, because it just makes me think of the good times.
Wow.
I guess when I was sick, they weren't actually that good.
Oh.
I just like the taste.
I hear that more and more from people these days. Interesting. Maybe I should conduct some more market research. Anyhow, it was nice talking to you guys. Thanks a lot. And now he's gonna peace out.
Well, it was nice speaking with you. Goodbye.
But he doesn't move.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to keep circulating. I don't have minis. I'm going to start pushing over the table here.
On the plus side, it didn't sound like he hated you at the end of it.
Yeah, no, that
Ryan's not a bad person.
Yeah.
okay.
And the sausage regulations aren't all bad.
That's good. That's good. I mean, I think we felt pretty good about what we managed to accomplish. And the murder.
Oh, it's fine. All right, who else do you want to talk to?
At this point, can we say that
You-
Nog's managed to escape this conversation, but he's got like a drink, and then very clearly in Valencia's saddlebags, they are just like very breadstick shaped. Like
That's good. Those will help you sober up after all the drinks.
Yes,
I
yeah.
will say, as you finally manage to extract yourself from the conversation, because the following happens. You're sitting there, he's blathering on and on, just won't stop. He will not shut up. He's just so happy to have someone to talk to. And a little earthquake shakes the area. And he's like, ah! But it distracts him and you can get away.
Okay, so he has a breakdown for it. And I go, and I'm not
I
even
mean,
gonna
you
say
don't
anything.
have to get away if you don't want to.
No, I mean, I'm a little concerned about like the, you know, I feels that an earthquake feels like a bad time to like ghost somebody, but I think Nog's like, well, you know, there's plenty of peace to me. It's very nice to meet you. I don't understand anything you've said to me within the past little while, but you seem like a nice person. And hey, and if you ever need some help, and he like flicks the card, his business card to them, and and then goes, very nice to meet you. Okay, bye.
Okay, thanks, bye. Glug, 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 glug. All right, who else do you want to talk to? You can rejoin your group. You can talk to other people.
Number 12. I want to talk to number 12.
All right, number
Like making a
12.
Z formation.
All right, well, Slock, you can just break away from the group and you can go talk to number 12. Where is number 12? Ah, hello. Hi, how are you? I'm actually, Slock, make me a knowing people that you would have seen coming to your office check.
That's a 4.
This person has come to your office, and I'm going to say he recognizes you, but you don't recognize him.
Hey!
Hey, Slock, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. Big guy.
Wow, not many people call me that.
It's endearing.
It is endearing.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. I'm going to put you out of your misery. This is Monic Shot Zip Spigot, who is an Isaac League structural engineer. He has been brought in from Prism University in the 10th District to help out with the site problems that they are having. And so he has not been here for very long, and so you've seen him coming and going into meetings, mostly with Bruna and your boss, the kind of meetings where Tizia says, "All right, Slock, we're taking a meeting now," and then slams the door in your face.
Yeah.
But only because she doesn't want you to hear things that you don't need to hear. Anyhow, he's gonna, if you let him, he's kind of the happy-go-lucky operator. He hasn't yet been destroyed by the challenge of this site. He's just thinking about all the things he can try and how much more power he can put into it and how many more pumps they need to install. So if you ask him, he will talk all about the Jetvara reclamation zone and how cool it is and how there's never been such a horrible problem with fluid dynamics and how he's probably going to be able to get his doctoral thesis. Like, he's going to be able to publish again and get a second doctorate just in fluid transfer dynamics from this site. He's so excited. He's in a great mood. He's the yin to the other's yang.
Okay. I'm gonna... Slock is gonna kind of just... So, what's new? Like, what's up?
All right.
You know, as a way to just, like, realize that he needs to digest all this sausage.
Right.
And that even moving across the room was like, oh,
Okay.
that maybe.
Well, as Nog before you, we'll say you get caught up in an annoying conversation you don't necessarily want to be part of.
Sure.
And then eventually you can just escape. Anybody else want to talk to somebody?
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, can I actually like walk? Like, I'm trying to find these two in the crowd, kind of a thing. And I'm since I came from 11, I'm like passing by 7 here.
Sure. Do you find anyone before you get to 7?
I don't know. Which direction are you all going?
I would probably head towards like 1 or 2, back to our original corner.
Okay.
I'm going to 14, 16, 17 to find out who these people are hiding from in this party.
All right. Oh, well, I'm going to resolve Enor very quickly. 14, 16, and 17 are Barrow Pravnik, Advisor Tizia, and Gorev Bruna, who are all too busy to talk to and will not. And if you try to talk to them, somebody's going to come and be like, "This way, sir."
As soon as I recognize him,
Turn heel and move.
Yeah. All right. So that's all taken care of. But Avenir, if you need to talk to Barrow, she'll have time for you, but they don't have time for Enor.
I can't imagine what I would need to bother her with 2 drinks in.
They look fairly involved, honestly.
Okay.
But you know, anyhow, who else do you, so you want to talk to 7?
Yeah.
Do you pick up Enor as he's leaving from that group of people? So you both get to speak to him?
Yeah, sure. Hey, do you hear what they were talking about over there?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like the fun part of the party.
Not particularly. Besides, I'd be giving them an earful even if they did have time.
About what?
I went to prison.
Oh, right. I keep forgetting about that. Anyways, this person.
All right.
Oh,
This is Dr. Vosper Plax. He is the head of experimental mitocology at Kapitsa Dirac University, and he will introduce himself very politly. And he doesn't really know a lot of people here, so he's sort of standing by himself because he's just recently moved here from the 9th district because a bunch of people died, and then there was promotions all the way up the chain, and this has affected basically everyone. So, you know, he had an adjunct professory kind of job, but now he's moved here for his first proper job, but he's not tenured yet, and so he's very, and he got sort of invited here because he is friends with a couple of other people that are at this shindig, and he just loves it here. He is very enamored with the 6th district, and Enor, you may be interested to know that as the head of experimental mitocology, you two may get along. He'll talk to you all about plants and then areas of concentrated wild magic, how the relative humidity can actually exceed 200%, which should be technically impossible, but here in the 6th district, it happens.
Fascinating.
Fascinating. What do you think of them building the stadium?
Me?
Yes!
This is not a good idea for so many reasons.
Oh, I think so as well. I think it's a terrible idea because this is such a unique ecosystem. This is the only place left in Ravnica like this. We have ancient texts that indicate that once this whole area that makes up the entire 6th district was nothing but a fetid swamp. But now, just this one small swamp remains. I think it should be left alone and preserved so future generations can study it. Who knows what's in there?
Probably worth expanding too, given how useful it is.
Absolutely. I've put in a proposal, actually, to go and collect samples before they completely excavate the place.
So it sounds like you're not like 100% down with this whole thing.
Oh, I don't think they should be building the stadium at all. I think we'd be losing a wealth of scientific knowledge. I'm unfortunately not in much of a position to say so because I would like to keep my job.
Been there.
Which side of the shindig has a view of the hole?
That would be the opposite side of the food table. Sort of,
Okay.
If you go up to because that's where the stage is on
Right.
the opposite side. So if you go up there and you can look down from the stage and you can see the hole.
Okay, I will move towards that side.
Okay.
So I'll move towards one whenever
All right.
everyone else is done.
I mean, yeah, Nog doesn't know a thing about mushrooms, so him and Valencia just keep munching on breadsticks and walking around the party.
All right. You walk up to one and you go to overlook the hole, I guess. And you see somebody else who is keenly overlooking the hole because she is a keen observer of things. This is none other than Franka Dobrik. And she is Kathleen's self-insert character.
Right.
And can give you information about other people that you may have missed.
Okay.
Or can answer questions for you. Or will just generally muse about what is going on. And she'll talk. She's like, that hole looks like crap. I don't think they're going to build that by next year. Do you think they're going to have the Fung Bowl here next year, Avenir?
I don't think there's going to be anything here but this, only slightly larger.
Well, one can only hope.
I mean, is this structurally stable? And like I tap the stones with my heel.
As if in response, there's a little like blah, blah, blah.
My favorite part of this is how it was built with reconstruction money.
Well, I mean, in defense of the Chamber of Commerce, we don't actually have a whole lot of reconstruction to do here. But, you know, in the interest of the Living Guild Pact not favoring any district or disfavoring any district, a compelling argument was made that the 10th district, even if it wasn't going to get, should still get some free money if the government was just handing it out. And I can't say, I'm generally opposed to pork barrel politics, especially when I'm on the receiving end of the pork. I just wish they would spend it on something we wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose as far as publicly funded money holes go, a literal money hole is kind of an interesting artistic statement.
Ooh, maybe we should get a plaque for it, Avenir.
Yeah, we can come here and meditate on the money hole.
Oh, I've written several columns meditating on the money hole. Is there anything else you want to know about anybody here? She asks while doing an NPC idling animation.
Yes, can I re-roll my class?
Yeah.
I'd like to raise one of my allies.
Do you know what has Minister Barrow and Tizia and Bruna so upset?
No idea. I have seen things, and if I try to get close, their retinues absolutely recognize me on sight. And of course, as you know, with the Demir Guild completely gone, absolutely have no ability to eavesdrop on them, obviously. Clearly. So, so it goes.
Do you know who's standing next to them?
What's the number?
2.
2? Yes, that's Zelda Spivnox, a local business person. She runs a Ravnican tourism business, and she is very annoyed about the delays to the stadium because obviously they're trying to get tourists here, and Zelda's business does not do all that well when the only thing that we have to offer here in the 6th district is that we were not interesting enough to be destroyed by Phyrexians or Nicol Bolas. The implicit maze forgot about us, and that we have some very nice apples at the very edge of the district.
Yeah, I can see how that would be frustrating.
But still, life finds a way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure many people from distant worlds, which, that's a thing.
Yeah.
What a fascinating era we live in.
yeah.
Will want to come and see our memorial money hole.
Well, I know that that readers of the Times-Picayune love seeing pictures of the memorial money hole with headlines like "Money hole grows yet deeper."
Now you get the whole story.
Yeah.
Do I want to ask about anyone else here? No, you know what? I'll say goodbye to Franca for now.
Okay. Do you want to go talk to Zelda? I've given you pretty much all the information I have.
Yeah, I would love to, actually.
All right. Zelda doesn't have character art because I didn't want to kill Featherweight. Zelda is sitting there and she, God, what's her voice like? Hi, I'm Zelda Spivnox. Welcome. Have you heard of my company, Spivnox Tours?
I have. It's lovely to meet you.
Oh, wonderful. I'm organizing a tour of the erotic gardens of the 5th Precinct. Is that something that you have been interested in?
Slock books it over.
Did someone say the erotic gardens?
Yeah, normally they're booby-trapped, but I've negotiated with the Combat Gardeners Association that we can do a little walkthrough and tour because they are very unique. Did you know that the 6th District has the most unique gardening culture on all of Ravnica? And honestly, from the reports I've heard from extraplanar travelers, that's saying something.
Well, I'm having this conversation. Can I try to eavesdrop on my boss?
Yes, absolutely. Make me an eavesdropping on my boss conversation.
Okay.
Or a conversation check.
Perception?
Yeah, sure.
24.
24.
Try to perceive the vibe.
Okay, the vibe.
The vibe. I assume the vibe is deteriorating.
No, you know
And
what?
you didn't do a vibe check?
I
was trying to-
This is the vibe check.
If I want a vibe check, I have sneak attack.
The vibe check is this kind of conversation. Like, well, how long is it going to take them to get back to us? And so you can't make out any words, but you can make out that. And you can make out Bruna being like, and then Tizzy is like, that's just how she talks. That doesn't mean she's angry. She just kind of sounds like Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove. So I'm going to say you've talked to Zelda and you do not have to engage with this NPC anymore because there's so many.
Yeah, Nog wants to go talk to 9 and 10 as he leaves Enor talking about the mushrooms and
All
stuff
right,
like that.
9 and 10. All right, 9. This is
Yeah.
This is Coach Drivdat. He's the former coach of the Mazgoz Smashers. And so you're going to know who this is because you didn't play for the Mazgoz Smashers. You played for whatever you wanted to name your team. And
I used to watch, so
Okay,
I'm
so you're
probably
gonna-
aware of the coaches.
all right, you're going to recognize him. So the Mazgoz Smashers are like the Victoria Royals, like your kind of like local team. But now he has just been hired, and he's going to tell you all of this, and I'm just going to shortcut having an awkward conversation about it. He's just been hired by Kapitsa Dirac University, thanks to a Chamber of Commerce grant, using that reconstruction money to make a new university-level Swamp Ball League team, which they're going to then play at this stadium when it gets built. They're playing in undercity stadiums right now as this sort of team comes online, and teams from other districts are coming because they're trying to popularize Swamp Ball as something that all Ravnicans can enjoy because it's easy and it's accessible, because if there's something that Ravnica has, it's big pits of gross water. It's everywhere. And it's really popular in the 6th District because, and this is just background stuff, a lot of the 6th District, because it's so swampy here, a higher proportion of the 6th District's population belongs to the Golgari swarm than in any other of the main districts. 40% of the people here are Golgari, which is why, last campaign, it was the Undercity was this is a really fun neighborhood where people want to live. There's 1 million people named Vogos, right? They are probably the largest, I would say, gilded group out of and most people who are in the Golgari, there's very few people who leave the Golgari. You're kind of always a Golgari. So anyhow, and there's a lot of homegrown talent, we'll say. The teams here are very good. Even at a local level, it is good swamp ball and well played, and there's perception that the 6th District is just going to smash the other ones, and he's got this confident air of I know what I'm doing. And I told Featherweight to make me a coach, and that's exactly what he made me. All right. So, yeah.
Who's he talking to?
Oh, he is talking to Avenir, are you ready for this?
Sure.
All right. This is Pova, and he will introduce her to you. She is the first throttler of the Mazgaz Smashers, and after she graduated from high school, she's now going to Kapitsa Dirac on a Swamp Ball scholarship, and she's also studying biology. And she is the star player of the university's new team. So she is here to talk about Swamp Ball and how great that stadium's going to be, and how her getting a scholarship is great for her because it's makes it much easier to go to school, because now she can afford to rent an apartment much closer to school and not have to commute all the way from her home in the Undercity. And it's really nice. University is free here, but having money and not having to have a part-time job is awesome, because her part-time job is making the school look good by being awesome at Swamp Ball. And she is very cute. And so, yeah, so what do you want? Do you want to talk to either of them in more detail?
Oh, I thought this was...
This is me talking to them.
This is you. I'm so sorry. All right. Hi.
Hi. Can I offer you a breadstick? And you like just hands like a couple out of the bag of Valencia.
Oh, sure. She was going to eat that. She goes, oh, I'm an athlete, so I get really hungry all the time. And the tray of canapes goes by, and she's like, excuse me. Just grabs the tray and just... So, sorry, I had a really big Swamp Ball practice this morning, and we're playing a really big match in like a week. So I'm carbo loading for that. And she is extremely cute. And make me a perception check.
Just on how cute it is. That is a 13.
She smells like apples.
You know, I haven't watched in the past couple of years, but I'm a big fan of the work of Coach. I've been watching you. I watched a lot of Swamp Ball back in the day. I gotta say though, like I was talking to my boy Slock over there, and
oh, I know Slock. Yeah, he used to play for, what was the name of your team? You can tell me later.
Yeah, I'll tell
you.
He
used to play for other team.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it was just after the 5-second rule and the he smelt it, dealt it rule.
Yeah, they did change the game a lot more. It's a lot more like combat heavy now and a little bit more like aggressive. But I do think that it adds for some interesting strategy. I've been watching a lot of like replay reports and stuff like that, and I think that we are going to be able to increase our like rate of near drownings by almost like 15% this year. I'm very pumped for it.
Increase the rate of drowning?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Make me a remembering last campaign.
7.
Okay, so I'll just tell you.
Yeah.
Swamp Ball is super violent.
Yes, that much I know.
There was a poster up that said, "Teach your young tot the fundamentals of Swamp Ball," and F was fun. U was underwater, and N was where the acrostic stopped. It was just never letting the opponent come up for air.
Right. Yes. Yes.
So yeah, think of it as full contact blitzball with weapons.
Great.
Underwater in near total darkness.
I'm excited. I'm excited to I assume both you are pretty stoked then on this new stadium.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. It's really exciting because if you watch, like, Swamp Ball's really popular here and it's a really fun sport and it's good. But like not many people know about it outside of the 6th district, and having a stadium that's not in the Undercity will get more people to watch and play, and I think that's exciting and important. And it's like, I don't know, I think it would be kind of nice if something, brought people together after all of the stuff that's happened. Make me a Ravnican politics check, or a understanding Ravnican society check.
I should have put more points into that one.
That could just be any kind of...
Sure, I'll do I'll just keep doing history checks. Why not? 13.
13. People don't love the Golgari in the wake of the Phyrexian invasion because some bad stuff.
There's like a lot of them that got turned into Phyrexians.
Yeah, a lot of Phyrexians in the 10th district were former Golgari, and they did some very bad things, and they killed a lot of people. And even though no Phyrexians came here, and therefore, this person was not personally involved or anything like that, definitely distant relatives of hers would have died in that. And now a lot of people from outside the district kind of don't like the Golgari as much as they used to, and they already didn't love them. Mm-hmm. So,
Well, that sounds like a lot of I gotta say that's part of the reason why I left the guilds. It's that guild drama, is there's so much hanging out over their heads.
Oh, absolutely. Is that an agency badge?
It is, yes.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. I've only heard about them. I heard they did some really cool stuff in like the 9th district. Have you ever been to the 10th district for work?
Yeah.
Oh, what's it like?
Well, I'll level with you. Less swampy, I guess, is the best thing that I could really say. But it doesn't have that good downtown home feeling that the Six has. And as you might not know, the badge, and he like presses like a little like button that's off on the side, and it kind of like has just like a little like teeny LEDs in it that like light up and go, lights up.
Cool.
Could I offer you another breadstick?
Absolutely. Yum, 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 yum. You and Pavel will talk for as long as you wish to talk.
Heck yeah. I want to become best friends with this cute bug.
She's great. But after a while, she's gonna get like a look across her face. And she's gonna be like, and like honestly, she could probably use some Aftersausage. And she's gonna sorry, what was your name again?
Nog, here. Take a card.
Thank you, Nog. I really enjoyed meeting you. I hope to see you at the game next week.
Next week?
Yeah, she told you there's a big game in one of the undercity stadiums next week.
Right, I'll be there.
Yeah, it's an exhibition match. And with with the team from out of district. She didn't go into more detail than that.
I'll be there.
So anyhow, but she's like, but I have to go. And then you sort of see her sort of make like as calmly as possible, like a beeline for the bathrooms.
Have a good poop.
She will stay out of there. All right, that is the end of that. All right. Let's see. Who else haven't you talked to? You've talked to so many people.
13, and 15.
All right.
Really just that big stack.
All right. 3. 3 is Sputcho Gwiggen. He is a local business person.
Gwiggen.
And he runs an import-export business. And if you talk to him, he will just go on about how it's just absolute horse hockey that they don't have an omen path here. It's so insulting. No airship. No, and then we don't even get an omen path. How is a man supposed to get exotic delicacies in and out of the 6th district? How are people supposed to taste our apples or whatever we have?
It's the middle of your job, dude. Figure it out.
It's so much harder when you have to send everything on Indrik.
Oh, boo-hoo. Business cries as usual.
Did he say horse hockey was coming to the stadium?
That's exciting. I mean, I gotta see how they deal with all the swampiness.
Yeah, it's gonna be really difficult to freeze.
Could I offer you a breadstick?
No, thank you.
Oh, all right.
All right.
They're free.
All right. Who else? All right. So, do you want to just go down the list?
Let's stop in at 13 and 15.
13 and 15. Okay, great. 13. This is...
Nope.
Are you all seeing this?
Nope. I'm out.
This is Mr. Sausage. He is a mascot that they're having to promote Obart Zunak Day, and then they're going to send, in a fit of ill-advised creativity from the Chamber of Commerce, someone decided it was a good idea to send him out to schools in the area.
Look, there was a suggestion box, and
This
Slock.
was your idea, Slock?
Well, Slock. Look, I'm not one to take credit, but I put in the note that said Mr. Sausage.
Hey,
That was you. Okay.
hey, Slock.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Is it a costume?
It is a costume. There's someone inside.
That's good, because the only reason this thing is still standing is that presumably someone is working it as a job.
Absolutely. Somebody's being paid to be in there. Slock, you know the person. It's one of those interns.
Yeah, they're doing a bang-up job.
Yeah.
How does their spine function in there?
That's up to Featherweight, who drew the art.
It's incredible what the body is capable of when you're doing something you love.
or
Just
getting paid for it.
unblinking eye contact as you answer this question.
Yeah.
As I lick my lips.
I assume it's something insectoid inside, and we're just seeing just 4 of the
Oh,
legs.
yeah, I mean, if it's a crawl, I could see it, yeah.
That'd probably be a fairly comfortable pose. And the point being, Mr. Sausage will not speak, but will emote at you if you ask him any questions, and can offer you vegan sausage at any time.
Could I offer you a breadstick? No, okay. Sausage only. Wait, do you eat this? Do you eat sausage?
He's literally like gritty, like he just like emotes at you, right?
Yes, yeah. I can't tell if that's a yes.
Did you hear about the horse hockey that's supposedly coming here?
Makes hockey motions.
Well, it's been a... Yep.
He tips his imaginary hat to all of you. You get the idea that Mr. Sausage kind of likes their job, honestly.
Yeah, Mr. Sausage seems cool.
All right. 15. Mm-hmm. This is Molander's grandmother. This is Nana Elga.
Oh!
She's going to recognize all 3 of you, and she's going to pull you into a giant hug because she's from the Selesnya. And then she's going to see that you're with them somehow, and she's going to pull you in too, even though she's small. She gets her way.
Nog is like wedged between Slock and the grandma.
Oh, it's this. I can't remember her voice. Oh, Sausage Boys! It's so good to see you.
It's so good to see you too.
Oh, I'm so sorry that Melander had to miss this. He's off in the 8th district doing some sort of work. He said he had to stay because so many people were touched by his actions.
Literally?
You know, I don't think I want to ask those questions of my own grandson, but I'm just happy he's showing some initiative for once, so, good for him. How are you 3? What have you been up to? I heard you went to prison.
I'm not resisting the hug. I'm not resisting the hug. I'm not resisting the hug. I'm not resisting this hug.
Oh, wonderful. Is that consent for more hug?
I am not resisting the hug.
All right, well, we're very keen on consent despite what people think, so I will let you go. So is the tattoo new, Enor, or?
Yeah, I killed a man in prison.
Wow. Have you killed other people, though, like outside of prison and like the line of duty?
I try not to remember that these days. I'm a new man.
Oh, have you quit the Azorius then?
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Well, do you know there's always a home for you with the Selesnya?
I'm currently homeless, experiencing... I'm not sure it's something I'm working on right now.
Well, if you ever need a place to stay, not only are you a personal friend of Molander's, you recall that you foiled 2 robbers in the Isvir Umik Spa in an anime-themed episode last campaign, right?
Yep,
That was the hot tub episode.
right.
So I would be happy to have you back at any time in our luxurious digs. We meditate 5 times a day and thank Mother Selesnya and the land itself for taking care of us, Matt Selesnya. And there's a lot of hugging.
Some of this sounds very interesting.
You
And
do have to be prepared to go for war for the honor of the Selesnya. That's kind of the thing we don't tell people about, but I'll just cut to the chase here.
And some of these things I'm not able to repress just yet.
All right, well, if you ever need a place to stay, give me a call. Have them ask for Nana Elga directly. Give them this code word, Molander.
Won't be forgetting that one.
Enor, you have Nana Elga's personal number now.
I guess so.
Because the Selesnya always believe in helping out people who don't have anything, because it makes them look good. Anti-Selesnya DM. So if you need a place to stay, you are free to stay at the Selesnya, and not even in the normal place where they take in people, like the nicer one where you actually are supposed to be a member for a couple years before you get that kind of communal apartment. Ooh. Only sharing the bathroom with one other person. Ooh. Not the dorms.
And I know how to make sure it can be just one person. 2 tiers.
All right. Okay. You have 1 person left to talk to.
2, I think.
2?
6 and 8.
6 and 8. Yes, you do. Which would you rather talk to first?
8 seems to be more off to the side.
All right.
Oh, no.
You recognize him just from the art?
Yeah. This
Gotta get
is,
into character.
It's the Orzhov kid, isn't it?
Ogavin.
It's
Yeah.
Ogavin. He's here, and he looks annoyed to be here. And he goes, "Oh, it's you. What's up?"
How's the band?
Oh, not bad, not bad. Things are going pretty well. They're out on an interplanar tour right now, but that's fine. My sister got seconded up to the 9th district, so, my life is just over now because I have to do all of this work. It's very irritating. And he'll start being like, at you, and then somebody is going to come up to him from the Orzhov Guild, and he's going to be like, and they're going to be like, and then, I have to go. Goodbye. And he'll peace out.
Stay golden, pony boy.
All right, last but not least.
My favorite NPC. Is he there mainly because I just like doing his voice? Probably. All right. This is your last NPC. This is Proclea Spazabomb. She's in a good mood. She is the sister of Prion. She seems bougie. She likes the food.
Would you like a breadstick?
Oh, if I could just get my own breadstick if I wanted a breadstick, but thank you.
But
You're
they're
not
right here.
Are you a waiter?
No, but I mean, I've got the. It's just as good as if it was over there.
Did you wash your hands before you touched the breadstick?
Totally. What are you implying that? Why would you imply that my hands are not washed to
Well,
begin
because you're
with?
not a waiter. You're just like I don't. Well,
Do you
fine.
not wash your hands on the regular?
I mean, yes.
Okay. Then we've both established that we are acting civilians. Would you like a breadstick?
Sure, I will take a breadstick. I see from your badge you work from the agency. Is this the agency's way of just warming people up to their presence now?
Yeah, well, now that we've gotten introductions out of the way, I'm Nog.
Thank you. I'm Proclea Spazabomb. I'm just here because, this is we get invited to these kinds of events. Sort of gingerly eating this breadstick, trying not to eat too much of it, but eating it to be polite. And it's nice to see that stadium finally getting built because I think it'll be good for the area.
Oh, so you're excited about it?
Yeah, I think overall, you have to admit that, it don't look good around here. Half the businesses are closed, half the factories are shut down. It's basically derelict around here, and I think it could be good for the economy and, bring people to the 6th district.
I think it's exciting. I mean, on the flip side, we could have also sold it as a wonder. You know what I'm saying? Come see
Oh, my
our
God.
big hole.
You sound like my brother. Look, people don't want to come and get mauled by giant mutant centipedes. They want they could do that at home.
But
They don't
it's-
need to come here to do that.
It's a zoo in and of itself.
Ugh, I hate those things. They're disgusting. No, thank you.
Don't ask me about spending time in cages.
I
Hey,
will not.
Enor, did you go to prison?
I wonder. Beginning to wonder when I should go back.
Okay. All right. You have now circulated and talked to every single NPC. Give yourselves a moment of congratulations.
Everybody.
Achievement.
You gotta. I had the chance to get all art for every single NPC, so I did it.
Yeah, amazing.
Okay. You have clued into this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anybody else has, but you certainly have. While all of this lovely hobnobbing has been going on and you've been making small talk and getting to know people that may or may not be relevant and may just be characters that I like, you notice that now Barrow, Bruna, and Tizia are just gone. They are not here. They have somehow completely vanished. Whatever has happened is now so important that they have to leave this function.
Okay.
Nog, after Avenir comes to that realization, you smell magic. And it is this very kind of particular tinny magic that means the agency is phoning you. So do you want to move to a private place to take a call?
Yes, hold on. Sorry. I gotta take this.
All right, so you disengage yourself from Proclea because you have like like we'll say a 30-second warning that you're getting this.
My badge vibrates.
Yeah. Brr, 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 brr. Here, and so you move to, I don't know, like a private place?
Sure, yeah. I kind of go maybe like closer to the fence and the hole.
Okay, great. All right, so no one's there.
I assume nobody wants to stand beside it.
And you take a business call, and as this 30 seconds comes up, poof. A little magical scroll shoots out of your badge. Hey, Nog, are you busy right now?
Oh, hey, boss. No. What's the hubbub?
Okay, well, there's something weird's going on, and how long is it going to take you to get to the second precinct right now in the 6th district?
How long would it take me?
Spoilers, you are literally there.
Not at all. In fact, I may not be consuming breadsticks on the premises.
Okay, great. Something big is happening, and there's a lot of messages flying back and forth right now. But Dr. Oral is going to be calling you in a couple of minutes, and I will say you are free and that the plan can go ahead. Thanks. Bye. Get back to you later.
Well, Valencia, we done it again. And she goes, boof.
All right. As soon as that call wraps up, you notice that there is a staffer from the Chamber of Commerce that appears to be looking for you. And he says, "Excuse me, Mr. Nogganog, could you please follow me?" And asks you to
course.
follow him.
Could I offer you a breadstick?
It's been a stressful morning. Let me tell you what. Anyhow, then, Avenir.
Mm-hmm.
Please keep in mind, Enor, that you are legally obligated to stay close to Avenir for the next 24 hours due to the terms of your parole and plot-based reasons.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay. Excuse me. Avenir Golubin?
Goblin.
Goblin.
Goblin. I'm sorry, I didn't know I had a last name.
I transposed it the first time I tried to write it.
Yeah, me too.
Mr. Golubin. Yes. And he seems kind of like this Chamber of Commerce guy. He's like, your boss told me to come get you and to bring you with me.
Well, if the minister wanted it.
All right. So you follow them. All right.
Do I collect Avenir or Enor as well?
Yes, you will have to collect Enor because if you get too far away from him, you'll get in trouble.
Yeah, probably magically somehow.
Yes.
You're the house arrest bracelet.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm jewelry right now.
Yeah, he needed to get out early so he could be thanked, I suppose.
Right. And sausaged.
Yeah, and he'll get his proper house arrest bracelet later, so you don't always have to be together. But for now, he's got to stick with you. Narrative convenience is important. And Slock, obviously, while all of this is going on, Tizia finds you, sends you a "get over here now," and this way, and then takes off, and you follow her. Mm-hmm. All right. Moments later, all four of you find yourself being ushered out of a little area where tents have been set up to cover like the catering setup and the grills and stuff, like where they're preparing the food, and there's boxes stacked around, and the catering staff are now being like shoved out because you are taking over the catering area and their smoking area because you need to have a big meeting right now with a bunch of people. So Slock is here, Tizia comes in, Bruna comes in, Barrow comes in, and the four of you are here. And then all of a sudden, bring. Hi, Nog. I've got Dr. I guess that's how it works.
Sorry. Yep. I just rebooted to make the call go through. Go through.
My earpiece. Nog, I've got Dr. Oral on the line because he needs to be at this meeting too. And then this is Dr. Oral is a very high up member of the agency. You know he works in the 10th district. You have never met him. You've never met the person that you report to, which is this person here.
I've only seen her through the scroll form.
This
is what I've seen.
This is her boss, who you've only heard of.
Oh wow. Okay.
Vaguely. Yeah. As he's the person who ultimately signs off on your pay stubs kind of thing. Yeah. So everybody stands around and they look at the scroll. And the scroll says in a completely different voice and different face, which I don't have art for, "Forgive my appearance, but obviously due to the remoteness of your location, it is not possible for me to be there physically. Minister Pravnik, you may begin the briefing at your leisure." And then Barrow steps up and says, "Hello, everyone. I am sorry that I have to interrupt today's enjoyable social event, but there is an urgent matter to be attended to. After discussions with all parties, we have elected to resolve this matter utilizing a trilateral partnership between the agency, the Azoria Senate, and the Chamber of Commerce, working, of course, with the Boros Legion for additional ground support as much as they are able to provide in this difficult time for them." All right, so now that we know locally what is going on, I will cover the details of the investigation with Dr. Mondu Oral of the agency. Thank you so much for being able to help us out here. All right, and so then Oral comes back to the center of the circle and says, "Thank you, Minister. All right, you are all assembled here because you have been selected by your respective guilds and organizations to assist in an investigation. Junior investigator Noganog, you will be obviously on behalf of the agency as our only staff person here, but as I also know, a capable investigator known with a solid work history, and if your previous experience with and previous to the agency has indicated to me a good sense of discretion."
Nog's got like a mouthful of bread and it's like, "You got it, boss."
Elocutor?
I guess so.
Elocutor Avenir, of course, will be representing the Azorius Guild as nominated by his direct supervisor, Barrow, as her representative in this matter, as it does include interguild cooperation. Mr. Slock here has been graciously seconded from Advisor Tizia's duty here as her assistant at the Chamber of Commerce, and will also be representing their interests. All right, to be blunt, there has been a murder. And from the initial survey of circumstances, it is clear that this investigation will require extreme discretion. 2 hours ago, a routine Boros patrol pulled a body out of a canal in something called the Greaseway. The cause of death...
You do not want to fall in that.
Okay.
Trust me.
So locally, everybody knows what that is, but he has no fucking clue what's going on. So he's like, "The Greaseway?" And everybody's like, a little bit. The cause of death cannot be immediately determined by sufficient investigation, but the victim, one Horobium Spazabom, was found with his wallet and ID on him, so it's extremely unlikely this was a simple mugging or a robbery gone wrong. Junior Noganog, your first task is to lead the inter-guild team here to conduct a thorough investigation of the scene, gather samples for a necropsy, which will be processed at the maximal speed by our offices here in the 10th District. Please make your way to the crime scene immediately, and may I remind you that time is of the essence.
Of course. Ugh. Nobody takes this with more seriousness than I do.
Thank you very much. Briefing over. Before we take off for the crime scene, does anybody want to talk? I mean, you can't talk to your boss. He's hung up on you.
Yeah.
But do you want to talk to Barrow?
Yeah. I just...
All right. What do you want to ask her?
Want to check in and find out, like... what? Okay, so... This is obviously, the victim was a very wealthy member of the 6th District. What, do you have any directives here?
Yeah, the victim has we're going to say a complicated history with a lot of people involved here. And it is both convenient and inconvenient that he has chosen to pass away in this manner.
Duly noted.
Yeah. So depending on how this goes, very powerful people could or could not be implicated with disastrous or positive results for interguild cooperation. Avenir, I know that you have a bad reputation around the Senate due to some previous issues with Obort Zunak, who, as things have shaken out, turned out to be fairly well connected and a beloved member of the upper circles of the 6th District Society. And
May he rest in peace.
But I have faith in you because I know that you take your job seriously and that you're good at it, because you wouldn't have been able to do the ridiculous thing that Obort Zunak tried to get you to do anyhow, because frankly, the man was a lunatic, and the fact that you succeeded was incredible.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I think that you will be the only person who will be able to negotiate through this with the level of expedience and decorum when somebody may or may not have to get into trouble, if you catch my drift.
I think I do.
So this guy would be the CEO of the Aftersausage.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
All right, do you want to talk to Tizia at all?
Yeah.
I'm so expendable.
Slack.
Boss, I gotta ask, why am I doing this?
Well, because someone who a lot of people wanted to see dead, and a lot of people didn't want to see dead, has now conveniently, for some of those people, become dead. And I don't know why. And frankly, Slock, it's good for us. So if something were to happen that would make it not good for us, your job is to make it so it's good for us.
So I'm not going to be like a Crawlumbo and solve this mystery. Or am I?
Yes, I want you to be a Crolumbo and solve the mystery, and then tell me everything you know, and then you wait for my instructions before you do anything about it.
Okay, I can do that.
Great.
I can do that.
You're very good at taking direction.
Thank you. I've been told so by you.
Make me a I understand my boss check.
Nat 20.
Tizia thinks you are smart enough to do this and not smart enough to do not what she tells you to do, which is why she hired you in the first place. You are good at following directions. You will do so loyally. You will do so efficiently, but you don't ask questions.
I'm a bit of a mama's boy. I'll kind of just
Are you a mama's boy for Tizia?
Yeah, in a way, yeah. Because I think my parents are canonically dead.
Okay,
That's the-
you're an orphan.
Yeah.
Cool.
You've known her. She's been around your community forever. You've sort of grown up. She's been 1,000,000 years old forever.
How many times have you called your boss mom at work?
Well, I mean, everybody does it once or twice, right?
Or
All right.
thrice, or
Yeah.
Graham posted about it.
Duly noted. Duly noted that that Slock loves his boss in a respectful, matriarchal way.
Yeah.
All right, and she's told you to watch out for the guild's interests.
Got it.
Got it. Okay.
Green Aligned characters in our campaigns are very serious about their filial responsibilities.
I didn't tell him to do this. All right, so we've got the elf who reports to his grandmother, and now we've got the elf who reports to the lady who isn't his grandmother but is old enough to be his grandmother.
Basically,
Bug mom.
grandmother figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grandba bomb. I don't know. All right. Okay. Luckily for all of you, it's an extremely short walk to the crime scene, and you are escorted by one Boros soldier who you see sort of like get admitted after the briefing is over, and they are not super happy
Do I
about
know
that.
them?
Let me check my notes. Yes, you do.
Oh.
You know this. You know this person. What's their name?
Briggs Scrampton.
All right. This is okay. So you and Briggs Scrampton. Do you and Briggs Scrampton get along very well?
Yes.
Oh, so you're old works friends.
We're,
Okay.
we're old work buddies. I mean, they might be a little like, what, you think you're better than us? Like, kind of indignant about my leaving, sort of a thing. But we didn't have any kerfuffles. I didn't, cause too many waves when I was with the
You
Boros.
still go to the same bar?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So do you want to talk to Briggs or anything like that then, if you know this person?
Well, I was just curious. I mean, like we can shoot the stuff as we're going towards it.
All right, Briggs will give you the rundown. Nog, nice badge. Looking very fancy working for the agency.
Thank you. It lights up.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Wish I had been at the briefing, but of course I just work for the Boros Legion, and, we're so short-staffed that now it's just 2 of us on patrol in the entire frickin' Greaseway. Anyhow, we discovered a body, and it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, you got the deets on how on when you found it, all that stuff that happens when detectives walk onto the scene that the person says.
Absolutely. I'll tell you this as soon as this box text triggers.
Great. Oh God, watch out, it's coming right for us.
All right. On official maps, this area is, and as always technically been, labeled the Jetvar Reclamation Zone. But to everybody in the 6th District, and in the reports as well, this is the industrial area on the edge of the Overbog, which is sort of colloquially known as the Sausage District, which is the polite name, but what everybody calls it is the Greaseway. Obviously, the area picked up this name because this is where most of the sausage factories were located, churning out all sorts of local delicacies, both potent and potable, until the passing of that new sausage standard. And it wasn't a great area before, because there's not much point in, maintaining your building if what you're making inside is going to eat the siding from the inside out. Eventually you just let it fall down and build a new building because land is cheap. But now it's even worse because, there's much smaller profit margins now and all of these things. The area's ditches and culverts no longer churn with questionable post-sausage effluents, and the odor has faded. But the names have stuck. But the name has stuck, and the sausage company buildings have fallen into really terrible disrepair, and most of them have been condemned, aka rented by artist collectives and fledgling sketch comedy groups. Anyhow, after a short and extremely unscenic walk past the boarded up buildings that are penned in behind rusty, decrepit construction fencing, you come to what is actually the mouth of the Dajjal Gorge, which, as you remember, is this huge waterway of gross crap that goes all the way through the Undercity before it meets up with the Senza Underriver at the Dajjal docks. But this is where it begins. And so occasionally lunatics come out here to look at it. And where it begins its long journey to the Undercity here as the outflow from the Jetvaris Sluicegate pump station. The machinery churns out an endless stream of foul-smelling, ichor-colored water from the Overbog and then dumps it into a massive drainage ditch that's 20 feet wide and several city blocks long, that is all bolstered by other discharge pipes from the factories that feed into it before the whole thing passes through a massive sluice gate and then tumbles down into the Undercity, where it continues its way, ferrying contraband and all sorts of exciting things. All right. Several pedestrian bridges and access paths have obviously been cut across this huge body of open water, fetid and foul as it is. And that means that very few people come through here because it smells bad. It's low-key dangerous because there's a lot of, weird monsters that live in that Overbog. The machinery's loud. It's just an awful place to be. There's a reason why the only thing here is sausage factories, even in Ravnica. All right. And then the sidewalk on the east side of the east side of the sluice gate has been completely closed off. There's another Boros patrol there's one foot soldier standing guard over a large lump that has been covered by a tarp and is surrounded by a large and ever-growing puddle of filthy water. All right, so here's the story, according to Briggs Scrampton. They found the body while they were on patrol, and it was jammed up against the sluice gates. So, as Boros Patrol investigating trouble is wont to do, they pulled it out of the ditch with some great effort. They found the victim's ID and wallet in his pocket. They called into HQ to see if it was a missing person, and then everyone started telling them to be quiet, shut up, and wait. And now you guys are here. They would both like to get the hell out of this horrible, stinky, gross place, which is bad and foul even by the standards of the 6th district, and go back and have some lunch. Nothing has happened since they have discovered the body, and very few people have passed through, and they've all just been like, nope, closed. And like, people are not trying to cross this body of open water unless they absolutely have to.
Okay.
The body was found 2 hours ago?
2 hours ago, maybe, they think. It's an approximate time.
Nog kind of walks up and flips open a notebook. He's like, all right, guys, what can you tell me?
All right, they whip off the thing, and you see no pictures of the body, but you see an elderly gentleman with a nasty-looking wound on his head that looks fresh. And he has a strange bluish tint around his eyes and mouth, and pale blue spots all over his skin. He is fully dressed, but he is missing one boot, and there's some kind of brown slime under his nails. His wallet and change purse are absolutely intact. It contains his ID. His name, as previously identified, is Herobian Spozabom, and his address is very nearby. It is 734 Pachuna Street, as listed on it. The wallet also contains quite a bit of money because, Aftersausage isn't doing so well, but they're not exactly poor. And it includes the business card for Aftersausage. The tagline is a family-run business, and he is credited as a proprietor and brewmaster.
Oh, so he actually makes it.
Yes, he has 2 adult children. He is 68 years old, 230 pounds, 5'10", and according to records, has no reported guild affiliation. And his ex-wife lives in the 5th district.
So we've got a suspect.
He's how the sausage gets made.
Well, what do we want to take a start at?
I mean, I'll get a pair of gloves from the patrolman.
Yep.
And, I don't know. I guess I'll look at the head wound that looks fresh.
Yeah, the head wound looks fresh. It looks like some kind of bludgeoning wound. Nog, out of character, this is the kind of stuff that you're going to want to get pictures of to send back to the agency for a full necropsy, which you will get after they have had a chance to process it, aka next session.
I have a camera, I assume.
Yeah,
Then
you have some magical camera that will send pictures and samples back.
Okay.
That will just magically happen.
Okay,
So anything you're like, that looks relevant.
Can the camera sort of? So I reach into I got like a little rucksack.
Yeah,
with me
maybe it's on Valencia.
Yeah, and I kind of reach in and I pull out this sort of like orb sort of thing. Then I turn it around, kind of like press like a few beep boop boop buttons, and it just sort of like rises out of my hands.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a ghost from Destiny.
Right.
It sort of like flies around and like takes the pictures that I need.
We'll say it's a modified agency thopter.
Yeah, great. I like
They
a
have
little thopter.
Thanks to Dovin Bond, they have thopter technology on Ravnica now.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's trustworthy too.
Yeah, 100%.
The agencies are trustworthy.
Yeah. Great.
I'd like to get a look at the blue around the eyes and mouth and the skin dots to see if that's anything I might recognize.
Make me a looking
Medicine?
at weird skin dots check.
Nature?
Sure.
Or,
Medicine, survival.
yeah, survival.
Whatever you think would be the most helpful to you, Enor.
Oh, I mean, yeah, in that case, let's go with nature out of those. Let's go with 23.
23. All right, this is, you seem to think this is the result of, like, maybe poison? Seems weird. Seems like, but it seems like so much. Does that make sense?
Yep.
It seems like if you had to guess, like a reasonable killing dose of this might have just made your light go a little bit blue, but like the spots all over the place seems like it's a lot.
Definitely an overdose. Either consensual or not, that's unclear.
All right.
Okay, well, now, agreed, but also he's got he's got a gash that's like in his head.
Yeah, most people don't do that to themselves either.
Right,
Someone wanted him really dead.
so like overdose might not be like the cause of death.
I mean, he's at the bottom of the greaseway. His body was dumped here.
Oh, maybe it's from the fall.
Like, can I look at that wound and see if it's something that killed him or if it's something that happened when his body was thrown here.
I'm going to say that you are unable to determine if that was a killing blow from a quick investigation, but you will find that out later.
Does
Okay.
it look?
It
Does it
looks-
look blunt?
Yes, it looks like blunt force trauma. There's a lot of bruising around it, and there's like, I don't want to be too descriptive, but there's like blood and stuff like that, and there's like a big gash.
Where on the front?
Right on the front side of the noggin.
People are a lot easier to hit from the front when they're not already moving. Don't ask.
On the right side or the left side?
We'll say I touched the left side of my head, so the left.
Okay.
Slock. You know about like gunk and mushrooms and stuff.
I've gunked before, yeah.
There's some gunk underneath the nails. You got any idea what that might be?
Let me take a look. I'd like to look at the
Yeah,
gunk.
you look at the gunk under his nails. Make me a looking at gunk check. Just tell me let me know how much I need to tell you.
22.
22. This is gunk that looks like it is a byproduct of food. There are little, there's like a spore of mold in it, like fine particulate matter. There's a lot of grease in it. Like it looks very gross and slimy. Do you want to smell it?
Yeah.
You got to get right in there, man.
Let me. Looks kind of greasy.
All right, make me a
Little food like.
identifying by smell check.
Let me just get in there. 19.
Oh, and you know, with the stuff that you told me already, you are going to recognize this. This smells like after sausage, and he smells like after sausage, but the gunk also smells like after sausage.
What does after sausage smell like?
It is described as aggressively medicinal.
Like clinical.
In real world, in real life, I imagine it tastes like Malort.
What's
Rad.
Have you had Malort?
I've never had Malort.
It's sort of like a
It's like
legendarily.
it's a terrible liquor, right?
Yeah, it's like the legendary liquor of Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Very
we can try it.
I will,
Yeah.
but I'm blaming you if it's bad.
While they're looking at the body,
It's an acquired taste.
I look around.
Oh, excellent.
Like, was he... I'm playing the hunch that his body was dumped here and that he wasn't murdered here.
Ah, okay.
Or actually, I'll ask the patroller. Who found him?
They found him.
They found him?
Pressed against the sluice gates.
Oh,
they saw
okay.
a body bobbing in the water against the sluice
Okay.
gates. They pulled it out, and they're like, all right, phone in the ID. Oh, my God, why is this a thing?
Right. Okay. In that case, I presume he was just kind of like in the flow of like effluent sluicing
Yeah.
into the river.
All right,
And
so do you want to
he-
make like a really detailed investigation check on the body?
Yeah, sure. Plus 10. 19.
There's some like smears and scrapes on his clothes of like more of that goo. There's like it seems like he's like traveled here.
Okay. We should have a look at the Aftersausage plant.
I was gonna say, can we also Nog would like to lean in and see if he can scrape off a little sample of the goo and
You
put it in.
take a sample of the goo and you send that back.
Great. Yeah. Goo sample acquired.
Is there
How
al-
carefully do you take that sample? Very carefully, or just like, man?
No, I've got like Nog takes his job pretty serious. He's got he takes he forgot his tools. He didn't at home. He didn't think he was gonna be that way. So I take like a breadstick.
Hollow it out.
Well, I don't need to hollow. I just like kind of use two like chopsticks and.
So you're using a breadstick to.
Yeah.
Noted.
Otherwise, do we know anyone at the League who could get us a map of all the various pipes and sewage lines?
Oh my gosh,
rivers?
absolutely. You know somebody at the League who would be able to get you that.
Okay.
So you can do that.
Okay. Then
At this point, with the people in charge of this, if you're like, hey, agency, I need somebody at the Izzard League to get me a map, they'll go, great, talk to this person. They'll go show you around. And if you're like, Barrow, I need this, she'll be like, it's done.
okay.
Cool.
There are no impediments to your investigation.
All right, so taking a look at this, we've got some trauma on the head. We got the slime and the spots. Maybe, yeah, I guess. Do we know if we have any witnesses or if anybody has seen, like the last people who might have seen him around patrolmen?
The patrol people haven't really seen anything before this happened, but you are free to search the area.
Might not be a bad idea to canvass and see if anybody saw anything.
All right. Make me a searching the area check.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
2.
2? Okay.
12.
I guess
22.
with that, can I have, like, while we're doing this also, Valencia's, like, sniffing around, seeing
Yes.
if she, like,
Yeah,
makes any
Avenir
interesting sense.
Yeah.
Avenir isn't very diligent about this part, I guess.
Okay, that is not really your speciality. Nog, is this Valencia's one, like, I'm going to do the thing this?
It can be, sure.
Do you...
So in this instance, she's sniffing around to see if if she picks up any like interesting scents and whatnot. And I'm kind of, I guess, looking around the area, canvassing to see if anybody's seen anything.
All right. So Valencia is going to sniff around, and she's going to sniff up to the body. And she's going to slap the corpse's stomach, and a little of water is going to come out.
Wait, did this one drown?
He certainly does appear to have been clubbed, drowned, and poisoned simultaneously.
So, is he? And like Nog kind of gives him like another like jab, like in the tummy.
He's dead.
No, that much is clear. We've established that.
Right.
But like is more water, kind of like.
Ooh, yeah.
So, like, it's not just swallowed water. Is it in his lungs?
Yeah, there's some in his lungs. We'll say that you can figure that out. Valencia gets no more incredible insights into what's going on.
Is the water from a cleaner source than
Get
here?
a sample of that water.
No.
No?
Ignore the water.
So then he might not even be like from like he might have just drifted down river or down the sluiceway.
How battered is he? Can we check the body for bruising
Yeah, you'd say he looks kind of bruised around the elbows, maybe.
and bloating?
He's not bloated at all.
Not bloated at all.
So not drowned.
Probably didn't drown or hasn't
Well,
been in
he's
the water
very
for
fresh.
that long. Yeah,
He's
fresh.
very fresh.
Huh.
You know about killing things. Any thoughts?
Don't get caught. Which I guess is kind of the opposite of what we're dealing with here.
Would you like to look around the rest of the area with those investigation rolls as well?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get to you last because you got what, a 2?
Yeah.
Do you have any pluses to investigate kind of stuff?
No.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tizzy
It's
has
gonna
sent
be a
her
good
favorite
campaign for you,
child.
buddy.
Not. Yeah.
All right, Avenir, you're going to find that there is, despite the fact that this place is completely boarded up, you got a 12 and you got a 16?
23.
23. Okay. Avenir, you're going to find that despite the fact that there's not that much going on around here, there is a store called Grudian Provisions that looks like it has an active open store, but it only opens at 6. And the door is locked and barred, and there's no sign that anyone has been around. Like, it doesn't look like anyone's come in or anything like that. But it's, like, clean, and it's not like it's dusty. Like, clearly someone's here, but no one's been here all day, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does. Just not open yet.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. You find tucked discreetly around the corner a flyer for a local music show at something called The Factory. There's some bands listed, and there's something that was written in strange, scratchy writing, but with a 23, you can find out that it says Abyssal Nocturnus. The other bands are The Scuzzlers and Brain Spoil. Notably, there's no date or address listed.
Man.
Hey guys, I found a useless poster over here.
Yeah, this seems like really cool world building.
I used to listen to so much Brain Spoil back in the day.
Yeah. Then I just started picking up, what's another 5 minutes?
Slock. Even in the most foul places, there are community announcement boards.
Oh, God.
I know. Would you like to read the community announcement board?
I would like nothing more.
All right. 1. The first announcement. Job opportunity. Actors needed for student art project. Daily small stipend provided. Lunch and safety equipment included. Bracket, some safety equipment. Please contact Trivaz Smognat with headshot and proof of most recent vaccinations. 84B Scab Case Lane.
Scab case.
Yes. Wanted. Local import-export business Guigan Delicacies is hiring. We are seeking candidates with natural entrepreneurial skills and a lack of intellectual curiosity. No experience? Preferred. We train on the job and offer generous commissions and secrecy bonuses. Apply in person only.
Okay.
Is that the same guy who was at the party?
Oh, yes.
Squatcho Guigan.
Squatcho Guigan. For sale. Artistic nudes. Tastefully rendered on edible paper.
Is there an address on that?
Yes. Made to order, but if you need me to shave, 24 hours notice required. Contact Hograx Vere for information or to view my extensive portfolio. 37B, Tuapnottle Lane, Cozina Depths. I will provide that information to you again.
Thank you. Yeah, Slock writes that down.
All right, and the last one is rendered, and unlike all the other ones, which are sort of your normal, community announcement posts, this one is rendered in heavy Gothic font and is just like big on white paper. Mm-hmm. Do not fear, it says in all caps. And then in smaller but still Gothic font. Rejoice when calamity finds itself among your people, for mayhem is the root of opportunity. Psalm 116, the 625 sacred orisons of financial management.
All right.
And Nog with a nat 20. You spot out of the corner of your eye an old lady coming back from doing her shopping in the Undercity.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes.
Nog and Valencia kind of go over. Madam, I hope you are having a terrific day.
Well, I live here, so it's not that terrific, but what do you want?
Well, thank you so much for asking. We are canvassing the area as there has been a commotion most foul, and we're wondering if there's anything that you might have seen.
Oh, this area is really known for being foul. I've seen lots of things. What do you mean?
Well, any chance you might have seen of any violent ongoings in the area?
Don't think so.
Are you familiar with a Mr. Harobian Spazaban?
Oh, yeah, I think that's the guy who owns the Aftersausage warehouse.
It is indeed.
Yeah. Real asshole, that guy.
Well,
Good news.
good news. In fact, well, I can't reveal too many details about this case. But is there any chance you saw him around, or maybe somebody who within any amount of time, not even recently?
Oh, not today. He's pretty much a shut-in, just stays and tinkers in his factory a lot.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see. Today I've seen did I see a goblin?
Okay.
I saw a dog.
Is it okay?
Oh, but I did see someone looking like they had a cloak, maybe. Just when I was going out to get my shopping, I only saw him out of the corner of my eye. But I had to do a weird detour because somebody's closed off that plaza for some rich person event up there.
Yeah, they didn't even have enough breadsticks. Anyways,
Rich people.
yeah, I know. Vegetarian shrimp.
God, what has things come to? Yeah. Those sausage regulations were a mistake. If I wanted to blow myself off with an explosive sausage, that was my right. But now the Senate and their stupid laws telling me what I am and am not allowed to feed to people and what poisons are illegal to ingest and all of that stuff.
Well,
waste of time if you ask me.
Yeah, well, tell me, I assume Karen, is there any chance you remember anything more about this cloaked figure?
No, to be honest with you, there's a lot of weirdos in this neighborhood. Sketch comedy groups.
Yes, yeah, I also don't like associating myself with them.
Yeah.
Evening at the Improve.
Do you happen to remember where you saw them?
Yeah, they were just going out that way.
Just out that way.
Yeah, they're heading off towards the rest of the Greaseway.
All right. Thank you very much. Anything else you might be able to remember?
Well, I think I've told you pretty much everything.
Everything?
Yeah?
Great. Would you like a breadstick?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, give me
And
a
Valencia
breadstick.
kind of brings the saddlebag over. She's welcome to grab as many as she'd like.
Oh, she's loading up her shopping.
There you go.
bag.
Yeah, I'll go back for more.
Oh, I think the party's over. But yeah, she's
Do we
gonna
know who
take.
catered?
Yeah, I can get you that information.
Great, okay.
Yeah, so she's gonna load up on breadsticks and she's gonna hovel away to whatever weird hovel she lives on the edge of the Greaseway.
I assume that she has like a giant pack. I don't know why. I'm just
Yeah.
imagining.
Well,
that-
she's kind of annoyed because, like, we'll say for the sake of my headcanon that I didn't tell you about, she
this is
like
all your
lives here.
headcanon.
And then she just cut through that stupid square. But because of that dumb event, she had to go all the way around because she doesn't want to walk across the gorge, right?
Yeah.
Because it stinks and it's gross and like sometimes weird monsters are in the water. And she's an old lady.
Yeah.
So she had to do a huge irritating detour.
Okay.
So she's already in kind of a bad mood. But yeah, so she saw someone sort of going towards the main part of the Greaseway.
Cool.
And she saw them out of the corner of her eye, and they looked like they were wearing a cloak.
Great. That's enough. That's enough for me to go on.
dark-
Thank you very much. And
Right.
I returned to the gang and I relayed the information. Sketchy guy, cloak, went in that direction. Also, from what people know, that Harobium, a bit of a shut-in. Doesn't go outside all that much. So extra weird that he's full of water.
Yeah, people usually aren't filled with water unless they were drinking.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
I haven't had anything to drink today besides alcohol, so I'm like 0% water.
You are going to feel terrible tomorrow.
Yeah, I should have a drink.
All right. Okay. So I think that's all the information you're going to garner from the surrounding environment. Would you like to progress to the Aftersausage warehouse? I think you mentioned that, Avenir.
Yeah, we need to figure out where he was killed.
Yeah. All right. Well, you walk, I don't know, a few blocks away, and you come to the Aftersausage warehouse, which is unlike many other buildings in the area, in that it is in fact uncondemned. In fact, by this area standards, it's in relatively good condition because somebody has painted it within the last 20 years. The faded sign for the building reads, "Aftersausage, taste today, regret never." And unfortunately, you've triggered more box text. My final attack for the session.
Duck and cover.
Here it comes.
Stand behind me.
Here comes the airplane.
Wait, you have counterspell.
All right.
Not supposed to know that yet.
If one were to conduct a random poll of Ravnican citizens, a good 60 to 65% of them would heartily agree that the unified Ravnican sausage standard doesn't even crack the top 10 worst things that the Azorius Guild has done in the past 3 years. In fact, when pressed, most people would admit that they are now happy that every added poison that is used as a flavoring agent is now also legally required to have its companion antidote printed on the label, even if that has made packaging a lot bigger. Even the most stubborn connoisseurs of traditional Ravnican cuisine have had to begrudgingly admit that the closing of the hair definition loophole has led to a noticeable improvement in both the texture and volume of Lockwurst.
Oh, God.
That said, the requirements around exactly what the sausage standard's goal of generally safe to consume under ideal circumstances has been pretty onerous, and most sausage manufacturers opted simply to close up shop rather than deal with the onerous requirements of using a minimum of 70% edible ingredients.
Are we the baddies? Did we cause like economic collapse?
I mean,
Trying.
yeah, hopefully.
For some people, not for others.
Look, just because you can't eat that much hair anymore accidentally doesn't necessarily mean things are bad.
That's fair. That's fair.
You have to eat real hair.
Yeah.
The hair's got to be real.
The real losers here were the barbers who were now have to like pay to have waste hauled away.
Yeah.
Rather than selling it to.
Christ.
Anyhow, one business, however, has chosen to struggle on in spite of all this. Aftersausage, brewed from mysterious and unlisted ingredients from an apocryphal and closely guarded family secret, Aftersausage has been, at least in the 6th district, a Ravnican household staple for almost 80 years, which sort of lines up conveniently with the previous sausage law. Anyhow, it promises to heal everything from an upset stomach to abraded bowels, and does so at a reasonable price. Hot dog vendors used to sell single-serving packets. Finer restaurants made it available as a condiment. But now sales have collapsed, with just a few holdouts buying it just for the nostalgic taste, which, as Slock is one of them, and describing it as bracingly medicinal.
Unterborg.
All right, you are now in a factory, which is still, like, operational, unlike many of the other factories around here. It is, there's big vats of weird crap boiling around. It smells awful, even by this standards of the area. Like, you just keep going to worse and worse smelling places. It's really incredible. Honestly, Slock, to you, this doesn't smell so bad, but it's like, if you, like, stuck your nose in a bag of, like, Ricola and just, like, breathe through that, it's a lot. It's overwhelming. And
It's like walking into a Lush.
yes, except the Lush smells like
Like a hospital.
and cheese curds.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's just awful. It smells dank in here. Like, it smells like black mold spores. is the
Oh,
only-
bad dank.
And is this typical of the factory?
This is typical of the area, but particularly bad here. Like, it's particularly bad in the Aftersausage factory. Anyhow, so you find lots of stuff if you look around, I suppose.
Yeah,
Okay.
are there any, like, employees
Yeah.
around?
How many people are working?
Oh, no, nobody works here anymore because sales have collapsed 80%.
Oh.
And Herobium is cheap and has fired everyone. So he just mans the vats himself
He was doing it by himself.
by himself. Sales have collapsed to such a degree.
Are there any signs that the machinery was in use recently?
Yes, the machinery is currently going.
So,
And I will tell you something very interesting. The Aftersausage factory is directly next to this failed reclamation zone.
Huh.
So last building on the block.
Now, if he's the only one working the factory, that means something's got to go by the wayside in terms of time, and I'm betting if he's a man like I am, that's going to be cleaning.
Oh yeah, this place is filthy.
Which means that there's probably going to be evidence of people moving around.
Yes, there is just like slime and dark footprints all over the floor.
Could I investigate the various footprints and see if there are any that don't seem to match up with each other?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You make me an investigating footprints roll.
It's going to be a 17.
17. Yeah, there seem to be some footprints here that don't, like, you're like, these footprints, and then he's missing a boot. But, so you can see some footprints that don't look like his footprints, because they're,
Okay.
like, maybe smaller. But he's got pretty big feet.
Are there any
He's 6 foot.
footprints that aren't
5'10".
shoe prints? Like, is there, like, very clearly, like, Piggly Wigglies on any of these footprints?
Oh, let's see, with a 17, maybe? A lot of, like, just stuff speared everywhere. So, like, the floor is, like, greasy and sticky from, like, things settling out of the air. So it's hard to tell if this is a Piggly Wiggly or, like, somebody slipped a bit.
Okay.
Is there any vat that matches the brown sludge he had under his fingers?
Oh,
or under his nails?
I think once you investigate all the vats, you will find out that all of those vats are coated with that thick brown sludge, several inches of each on the side, actually.
This is the Aftersausage, like, where it's
This is
birthed.
yeah.
I assume Aftersausage comes in a bottle?
Yeah, it comes in a bottle, and there's like a bottling facility off to the
Right.
side where like little bits are, and like there's lots of bottles,
Right.
but like only a few cases are done because that's only the the demand is not for like thousands and thousands of bottles like there used to be. They're running off like a few hundred a day at this point.
Can I figure out where the waste sluices out of this place?
Absolutely. There is a big sluice gate. Make me an investigating the sluice gate check.
22.
Oh, well, you didn't need a 22 to find out that there is, there's like marks around it, and it looks like scratches in it.
Can Valencia have a little sniff of them scratches? See if she identifies what kind of thing would do it.
I don't think Valencia needs to do this. Make me a looking at thing. Like, I think with a 22, I'm just going to say they look kind of fingernail sized, possibly.
Pretty sure this is just him clawing his way out.
Clawing his way out.
Or
Trying to
escape. Yeah. Huh.
all right. While you're looking around, the ground shakes a bit.
Okay. Does that happen?
It's probably nothing.
Normally around here? Is that something that's been happening a lot lately?
This is something that people have thought might be related to settling as water is removed from the overbog and pumped out. It may be related to interesting hydrological shifts. I'm sure if you asked Monarch Shot or Abersax, they would be able to give you much more detail about those earthquakes.
Right. Is there a basement?
There is not a basement that you can tell.
Which is the wall that faces the pit?
That faces the pit is the far wall. It's not the pit at that point. The pit is on. So if you were to imagine like a big football field, the pit's in half of the field, and then the half of the field they haven't been able to excavate yet because the half they have done keeps filling back up with water, and then it's the Aftersausage factory. So on the other side of this is a bunch of windows that are very high up and have lots of bars on them, and sort of like reinforced against whatever might be wanting to come out of the overbog.
Okay. I'm curious if the factory is damaged in any way by the construction going on next door, or if it's like, what are these earthquakes doing to it, if anything?
I think you could definitely find that out by talking with an engineer.
Right. Okay.
So I assume, so we've got this is probably where his body torpedoed out of, and went down the sluice way, we can assume. Right.
It's a very big sluice gate. You could investigate if you wanted to.
Sure, let's investigate the heck out of this sluice gate.
All right. So when you go down the sluice gate, you see that after it leaves the factory, pretty shortly afterwards, it takes an extreme right-hand turn. So it just goes, and it goes out, and it's really gross and slimy and slippery in this sluice way. But you're able to keep your balance just, and there's horrible, not so much on the top, but on the bottom, where outflow would come if they're draining something or doing whatever gross stuff they do with Aftersausage. So up to about waist high along all the walls, there's just this horrible slime.
I ain't going in there.
It's totally walkable, and you could.
Okay. I would like to go in there.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, so how high is waist high?
Yeah.
It's head height for you and waist height for you.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
It's a big outflow. This used to be a serious factory churning out tens of thousands of bottles and packets of this stuff a day.
Hey, what up?
Slock, what's up, Enor?
No, can I borrow a breadstick?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
I'm going to grab that, going to cast Locate Object on it, and toss it into the sluiceway.
All right. So. Thump. It comes out of a pipe and dumps into that ditch and eventually lodges itself against those sluice gates that prevent really big stuff from going into the Undercity.
So now we know where it goes.
To be another time, I guess.
All right, I'll put away these horrible rats that I hid in there.
My embrace will always be available.
Yeah, well, a tall, thick, and strong individual like yourself, I might require your services at another time. But it's good to know. We know where the sluice gate goes.
So where was he killed? We know that he was alive when he was stomped down the sewer. So where was he? Where did he get the head injury?
Is there...
What poisoned him?
Yeah.
And yeah,
Then why did they throw him down the sluice gate for good measure?
And in
Yeah.
what order?
yeah.
Yes. All good questions. Would you like to do a just general investigation
I would
of the
love to do
area?
that.
Because I'm not going to make you think about everything that you could look for.
16.
16,
13.
13,
14.
11.
11. All right. 19. You find the office.
Okay.
I was thinking.
And then you go through the office, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. And it's mostly just depressing sales figures and savings accounts that are slowly draining. And there's a lot of notices from the Chamber of Commerce about the swamp ball thing, and some notes from Bruna himself and everything like that about how exciting the swamp ball stadium is going to be for this area, and what a good opportunity it is, and all of these things, all of this, and won't you please reconsider is sort of mentioned there 6 or 7 times, and then you see sort of wadded up in the trash a piece of a notebook, not a piece of a notebook, a page from a pamphlet.
Okay. What is it?
It's a page out of the Omen Hiker's Guide to the Multiverse.
Is it our page?
No. It's a detailed inset map of the Zonot 5 Splashorium.
What is this? What is the Zonot 5
is it the
Splashorium?
Oh, we
bubbler?
know.
Yeah, it's basically the good version of what they're trying to build in the 6th district.
Right.
It's like the West Edmonton Mall water park.
Oh, okay. It's a big water park.
It's a big water park. And there's some Simic stuff happening there, presumably, as well. But yeah.
This guy went on the last water slide he's ever gonna. He went on that big water slide to the toilet in the sky.
All right. Anybody want to investigate around the area? So you've found the office. That's great. Does anybody want to investigate literally anything else? Please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've looked at the vents, you've looked at the vats, you've looked at the office.
Is there anything that could have been used for a bludgeoning weapon on the premises?
No, not that you can see. But there's a lot of big pieces of heavy machinery around here, and some of them are in various states of disrepair. So there's just back in the corner here, there's just a ton of stuff that's laying around that looks weird and heavy and rusty.
Well, I mean, head wounds bleed a lot.
Yeah.
If you've ever even knocked your head on something, you're gonna bleed for a while.
And he was
So if
bleeding pretty profusely from the head wound.
So if he didn't just get stomped down the sluice gate and then hit his head somewhere in there, there would be blood here.
And you do not see any blood.
Okay.
Wow. Interesting.
Is there signs of a struggle around the sluice gate?
There's definitely signs. It looks like there's some
they're
scratching.
scratches, but
Not that you can see, but there are a lot of footprints. It looks like, despite the fact that you have been told that this person runs the factory himself and doesn't really go out, that just kind of does his thing here, makes stuff. It looks like that there's a lot of stuff that's happened around here, and it could be the product of not cleaning, or it could be the product of more people coming in. It's hard to tell because it's just are these old slimy footprints his from walking back and forth, or other people's from walking back and forth in these puddles of slime and ichor that drips? It's very moist here. I cannot describe how disgusting this factory is.
Also, is there a big off switch, a kill switch for this place? Because I imagine, it's probably dangerous to leave it operating
It's
if
gonna be
the
one of-
only person who works here is dead.
It's going to be one of two things. This man either cares greatly about safety of his employees or not at all.
Right.
Well, I mean, make me a looking around for safety check.
24.
27.
All right, you are going to find despite the fact that this factory is pretty gross, that Spazabom does appear to at least employ like height safety. So if he's got to go to the top of the vats, there's like a harness here that he'll clip himself into and stuff like that, because he's working with like greasy substances high up, and that's easy to fall if you weren't being careful. So it's like he's generally careful. You also find out that he's kind of a slob.
Okay.
So like he's pretty disgusting. He's been trying to like, it looks like discarded lunches everywhere. There's crumbs, like the garbage hasn't been taken out super recently. Like he looks like kind of an old dude who's pretty depressed because his business is going down the toilet and he just doesn't know what to do, so he keeps making the stuff and is kind of like just letting everything go to pot and not fixing things when they break because he doesn't have the money for it and stuff like that.
Okay. I look to see in the office if there's a recipe.
There is not.
Are there all the precursors stored here?
They wouldn't be stored in the office.
Well, I mean, in the factory.
Oh.
Like, are there shipments of stuff coming in?
Oh, yes. There's all sorts
Okay.
of bags of weird herbs and, like, dried things.
Can I find a list of them?
You can find the most recent shipping manifest.
Okay. I just want to know. Basically, I'm looking for a list of the herbs and medicinal ingredients so that I can ask someone, do any of these cause poisoning that's consistent with what we saw?
Oh, you can get a list. You can take an inventory of everything that's there, and you can send that back to his lab, and they will tell you if any of that can cause poison if ingested in high enough volumes.
Okay.
Through exposure or just ingesting or like inhalation.
Right. Like, I imagine Aftersausage is probably like, do you ever seen the photos of the cough syrup? That is like, it's got a bunch of like medicinal ingredients, and then it has like alcohol, 50 milliliters per dose. Cannabis, indica, 5 milligrams.
I'm going to be completely frank with you right now, and you can tell from looking at this list and the smell of things that are around here is there's definitely like alcohol in here in like big vats, and there's a kind of a dank, weedy air around here.
Right.
Like, I'm sure if you sliced open one of these bales, it would just be,
What about
legal substances.
What about his personal effects? Are there any photos of family or anything of the like in the office?
No. You can see you can find his sort of like living quarters where he kind of stays here. And it's like it's like a kitchen and a bathroom and like the bathroom's not been cleaned super recently and stuff like that.
Super divorced.
Yeah, he's got very powerful divorced dad energy, let me tell you that. Or I guess he had.
In the office, is there a lawyer, like legal representation, and is there anyone who would know what his who his heirs would be?
What's the last card on his Rolodex that's currently open?
Yeah, well, the last card on his Rolodex is a big heap of stuff on the desk. So unsure, but you can find out through sort of like fairly basic means, I would say, that his two heirs are absolutely not his ex-wife, and his children, Proclea and Prion.
Okay.
Well,
but you can, if you would like, to order more information about anything to do with this, like his life, his stuff, and I'll literally prepare notes for you for next time.
Okay.
Can we, I assume he's got this like Rolodex or something like that. Can we get the address of his kids?
Yes.
Yeah, like where they are. Like, I don't know what else we're finding here. Like, either we're missing a very key like question that we're supposed to be asking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what
that's
it is.
okay.
I look for objects emitting a faint pulsing light.
But
Nothing.
we could also go. We should interview the kids and stuff too.
Have we looked at his living quarters? Like in his living quarters?
Oh, he lives here too.
He
I thought this was
lives
just a
here
factory.
some of the time when
Okay.
he's too depressed to go home. We'll say that. You can just have that information because you're going to find that out anyhow. But he's, you're not supposed to live here. He's got a house, obviously, but
Yeah.
like, He just kind of comes here and like,
But he's incredibly divorced, so he
Well, such-
might be spending a lot of time there.
not a lot of time here, and like, it's not the same since the wife moved out, that kind of thing. Both his kids don't live with him anymore because they're adults, obviously.
Yeah.
So he kind of, maybe it's not like, it's like a cot situation.
Sure.
Is there anything else in the area of note that sticks out?
Give me a one last Hail Mary. I'm just going to look for anything small investigation check.
24.
23.
15.
19.
All right, there is one smell that smells kind of funny and smells a little bit nicer than everything else in here.
Okay.
You take a sample of this and you send it back.
A scent of the smell?
Or no, not a smell, but like
source of the smell?
a substance that has a slightly different smell.
Okay, where is this?
This is just like on a random pipe somewhere.
Okay.
This is like you're looking at, you're like,
How did we miss it?
you're going through like this vast swath of machinery, we'll say, because you're actually looking at like the actual infrastructure of the vats and stuff like that.
Okay.
And just like on like some random pipe, you're like,
Some small slime on a random
What's
pipe.
that?
We got some
Is
smell.
it dripping from the
no, it's
pipe?
just like it's been
Smeared there.
smeared there.
Okay.
And so there's no fingerprints or anything like that because it's just grease on dust, essentially, right? Like it's just so gross in here. And like it looks like it's like grease on dust with like just like years of like drippings and slime caked on and just like crap everywhere. And like maybe hands have touched this, or maybe this is just the dust starting to slough.
But it's not fresh, is what you're saying.
Unable to determine how fresh it is.
Does it
but
look or smell anything like
It's
anything
dark brown.
that was on the guy?
but a different dark brown, and it's not on the guy, but it smells like apples.
Ooh.
Well, I mean, now let's not go jump into conclusions here. A smell is very, hard to just directly link to somebody. But I will say I may have met somebody recently that has this exact scent.
Well, you should take a sample of it, and we'll tell you what it is tomorrow.
All right. Oh, I take a sample of it.
Yeah, it's just like on a pipe.
Yeah.
Get some of the background grease too, and
Yeah.
they can tell you all sorts of what's in there.
I put it in the thopter.
All right,
Who I've decided I'm naming Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, excellent. Once again, tiny, not like a lot, just like a
No.
like that equivalent of an earthquake. It seems like sometimes they're big, sometimes they're small, but they occur like, I don't know, fairly regularly at this point. Can hear a machine shudder. The machines are very loud. All right, and your last thing that you find is by the door, just some mere flecks of strange black powder. And these, unlike everything else, are not just smeared into greasy, sticky area, right? These appear to have been dropped or deposited, left. Somehow these black flecks are not like ground into the muck like literally everything else is around here. They're just like, it's like a little sprinkle.
Fresh to pepper.
Fresh pepper. You think of it like fresh pepper. You almost miss it, but you almost walk by it, but you're like, what's this?
Interesting. Can I get a sense
Yeah.
for what it
Do
is?
I recognize it?
Make me a what is this black stuff? What is this weird black stuff in a weird factory filled with weird, gross stuff?
15.
15?
19.
19?
23
23?
for investigation.
Okay. It's not, you don't know what it is. It's not food. It's not something you've seen before. This is whatever the hell it is. It's weird. It's very odd. You've never seen anything that crumbles quite like this.
I call Nog over and get him to take a sample of it.
Yeah, Jeffrey kind of comes over and hovers beside Cam.
All right. And then I take like the page from the pamphlet. Mm-hmm. And I'll just carry it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
What did they say about Zonot 5?
Oh, that it's great fun. And that the most of the attractions are fairly priced. Any food is a ripoff, so it's probably better to bring your own sandwiches.
Right.
Absolutely under no circumstances should you ever accept any offers of rapid hybridization or just to see what the growth chambers look like.
Right.
Lest you want to spend the rest of your life on Ravnica, not just the rest of your vacation. No matter how nice those nice Simic people seem.
And there's still nothing around. Like, if I go to, before we leave, if I go to the sluice gate and just kind of like try to backtrack anywhere, like, is there? He was a big man. He's a pretty big man by Ravnican standards. Is there like a furrow through the slime on the floor where he was dragged?
Yeah, if you look inside the sluice gate, it looks like there's some like scratchings around the outside, and then it looks like you can see imprints in the schmuck at the bottom of the pipe.
Okay. I just want to know, like, was he attacked here? Was he attacked elsewhere in the factory? Did he just like slip and fall? Did he like
Let's go in. I feel like that's what we're supposed to do.
all right.
I prepare myself.
Hey, Slock, catch! And I like jump up into his like arms, I guess.
Whoa.
Let's go explore this tube.
All right, it's so gross in here and it smells terrible. But you go in and you go to the sharp right-hand turn where it sort of exits the factory and goes to the...
Before you do that, you mentioned that there were harnesses here
Yes,
with like lines attached to them.
yes.
Would you like to wear those?
We're like in it, and we're like, that's a great idea,
You're already like
Avenir.
halfway
Okay.
down the pipe. Yeah,
Sure.
sure. If you want to wear harnesses, go for
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, you are harnessed up. Are Avenir and Enor staying here to pull you back out in case you get into trouble?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
that
not
sounds
going in
reasonable.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, fabulous. Okay, so you get halfway down the pipe, and it takes a sharp right-hand turn as
so
it
strong.
leaves the property and sort of starts heading towards the culvert. And you can see now that there's like, after that sharp right-hand turn, the sort of like imprints turn into like a trough that's down the center. And you don't get further in that before you are attacked by rats and must roll initiative. Because, of course, horrible giant things live in here.
Ah!
Do you want to, like, you don't have to fight them.
Well, you know what? Actually, hold on.
You can just get them to haul us back.
Yeah. I mean, we could do. I can communicate with animals.
All right, try to communicate with the animals.
I would like to use my primal awareness ability, which allows me to. I can basically, I can communicate not like words necessarily, but like general ideas and get their like vibes and kind of communicate like that. So I'd like to be like, whoa, little guys.
Okay, make me a. I'm gonna opposed check off the rat's wisdom. Make me a psychically talking to the giant scary monster rats.
Is it one rat? How many rats is there?
There's 6,
Jesus.
but there's only one in front, so you
I
can
didn't
try to
think
talk
this
about
was
one.
that wide of a gate.
It's a big gate.
That is a 12.
That's a 12. It's gonna go and like hiss at you in its mind because that's kind of how they communicate, and it's going to be like it's gonna give you the impression of back off. It's mine.
What's yours?
Mine. Do you want to try to charm the rat in any way? Like, how can you?
I do have animal friendship.
Do you want to try to make friends
Get
with
it
the
on.
rat?
Yeah, I can make friends with a rat.
Perhaps my associate could help.
I mean, we're all creatures on this beautiful earth. What did I roll?
So
I rolled a 13.
So what are you doing with animal? Like you're casting animal friendship on this.
I want to try and charm the rats so that they're not,
Aggressive to you?
aggressive towards us.
Right. Do you have anything to bribe the rat with, perhaps?
I-
To sort of augment that 13?
I have breadsticks still.
And I could extrude more deviled eggs into a sausage.
Okay. So are you going to use the food that you have on you, whatever that old lady didn't take, and whatever else you stuffed into your pockets to try and be like...
Nog, Stick me.
And I I throw them out over to you.
I grab the breadsticks. Check this out. And I extrude some of the deviled eggs that I kept in my pocket.
Oh, into the breadstick?
Well, I make kind of like a
Got deviled egg gusher, like yogurt tube.
I'm thinking more of like a little raft made of breadsticks with a mound of
How
deviled
long
eggs.
are you taking to make this? Because they're rats.
It's 10 seconds. It's
Breadstick, boop, boop, boop.
yeah.
Okay, so
Float.
you're chucking up breadstick with some eggs on top to the rats.
Yes,
that
yeah.
will
As
sufficient.
an offering of peace.
They're gross, horrible rats that live in a sewer and like lick things out of the grates,
Yeah.
and they're hungrier than they used to be because the sausage factories keep shutting down. How annoying! So they're gonna go for those, and you can see what they were looking at.
Okay.
And there are also so many more rats because the sausage factories are shutting down.
Oh, yeah. God damn.
but not in the Aftersausage, right?
No,
Yeah.
not an after
The,
sausage.
Oh, thank
the
God.
knock-on effects of this law just keep getting worse and worse. But less people are exploding. So anyhow, you get what they were. Where there was a little shiny.
Oh,
It's a little shiny tin of something.
can I pick it up?
Yes.
I would like to attempt to pick it up.
Pick it up out of the muck while they're eating their baguette. And
Great.
if you want, you can just get hauled back now.
Yeah, we just like, pull! Honk, honk.
No, wait, there's a winch.
You're out of the tube.
Whoa!
All right, you look at your shiny. You open it up. Really smells like apples.
Well, what is in it?
You'll have to find out. Wait, Slock, make me a I know what I'm doing check.
Oh, Christ. 12?
It's swamp ball grease. Oh. And that does it for session 1 of Bylaw and Order 2.